The solar system is quieter than most people imagine. When you first learn about space, it often arrives through explosions, collisions, giant planets, burning stars, and impossible distances. Everything sounds violent, loud, extreme. But when you look longer, more carefully, the solar system begins to feel strangely calm. Not empty, not cold in the emotional sense, just patient. Everything out there moves according to rhythms so stable that some of them have continued for billions of years without interruption. Entire worlds drift through darkness with almost no change at all. Moons repeat the same orbit endlessly. Rings of ice circle planets like slow-moving rivers. Light from the sun travels outward in silence, touching every object in the solar system one after another. And somewhere inside that enormous structure, on one small planet, human beings lie awake at night thinking about it. There is something deeply relaxing about realizing how organized the solar system really is. Not because it was designed for comfort, but because nature itself often settles into patterns, and patterns calm the mind. If you could somehow leave Earth and slowly travel outward through the solar system, one region at a time, you would notice something surprising almost immediately. Space does not feel rushed. Nothing hurries. The Moon takes about 27 days to orbit Earth. Earth takes about 365 days to circle the Sun. Jupiter moves so slowly through the sky that ancient astronomers spent entire lifetimes tracking its position. Even sunlight takes time. When light leaves the surface of the Sun, it travels for about 8 minutes before it reaches your face on Earth, which means the sunlight warming your skin right now is already 8 minutes old. You are never seeing the sun as it is in the present moment, only as it was. And this delay exists everywhere in the solar system. When scientists communicate with spacecraft far from Earth, they wait for signals to cross the darkness. A message sent to Mars can take many minutes to arrive. A signal reaching Neptune may travel for hours. The solar system constantly reminds you that enormous things move slowly. And strangely, the human mind often relaxes in the presence of slowness, perhaps because modern life rarely allows it. On Earth, everything pushes toward urgency. Notifications, clocks, traffic, deadlines, endless movement. But the solar system does not care about urgency. Saturn will complete its orbit whether humans are anxious or calm. The moons of Jupiter will continue circling in perfect timing long after every current city has changed beyond recognition. There is comfort in that scale of stability. And maybe that is why people have looked upward for thousands of years whenever life became mentally heavy, because the sky quietly refuses to panic. The sun itself is far calmer than most people imagine. From Earth, sunlight feels gentle, familiar, almost soft. But the sun is actually a massive nuclear engine containing more than 99% of all the mass in the solar system. Every second, deep inside its core, unimaginable pressure forces hydrogen atoms together. Those atoms fuse into helium, releasing enormous amounts of energy. Yet despite all this power, the sun burns with extraordinary consistency. It has remained stable for around 4.5 billion years. That means sunlight reached ancient oceans, dinosaurs, ice ages, early humans, and modern cities through the same continuous process. A long, uninterrupted flow of energy across geological time. And the sun still has billions of years left before major changes begin. In human terms, that is almost impossible to emotionally process. Entire civilizations rise and disappear in tiny fractions of the sun's lifetime. Even mountains are temporary compared to stars. And yet every morning, sunlight arrives again with such reliability that most people stop noticing how extraordinary it really is. Sometimes relaxation comes from familiarity. The sun may be the oldest thing you interact with every day. Mercury, the closest planet to the sun, experiences some of the most dramatic temperature changes in the entire solar system. Its daytime surface becomes hot enough to melt certain metals, but at night, temperatures collapse into extreme cold. This happens because Mercury has almost no atmosphere to hold heat, so the planet swings between burning light and freezing darkness over and over again. And yet Mercury itself remains silent. No weather, no rain, no oceans, just rock and sunlight repeating the same cycle endlessly. There is something strangely peaceful about worlds without noise. On Earth, nearly every environment contains motion and sound. Wind through trees, ocean waves, insects, machines, voices, but much of the solar system exists in complete silence, not quietness, actual silence. Because sound cannot travel through the vacuum of space. Imagine standing near Saturn's rings. You would witness billions of pieces of ice orbiting the planet together in perfect formation, but hear nothing. A cosmic structure wider than Earth's entire diameter would drift before you in total silence. Even giant storms on distant planets produce no sound unless you are physically inside their atmospheres. Space removes noise from violence, and without sound, even enormous events can appear calm. Venus is often called Earth's twin because the two planets are similar in size. But emotionally, Venus feels completely different. The surface of Venus is hidden beneath thick clouds that reflect sunlight so efficiently that the planet shines brightly in Earth's sky. Ancient civilizations associated it with beauty because it appears so luminous at dawn and sunset, but beneath those clouds exists an almost unimaginable environment. The atmosphere is so dense that pressure on the surface could crush many spacecraft. Temperatures remain hot enough to melt lead, and yet the clouds above Venus drift slowly and elegantly around the planet in smooth layers. This contrast appears often throughout the solar system, beauty and danger existing together quietly. Jupiter may be the best example. Jupiter is enormous. More than 1,000 Earths could fit inside it. Its storms are larger than entire planets. The Great Red Spot, a giant storm system, has likely existed for centuries. Human history itself unfolded while that storm continued turning. Empires rose and disappeared beneath it. Languages evolved beneath it. Generations lived entire lives while one storm on Jupiter slowly rotated in the dark. That perspective can feel strangely calming. Many human problems feel permanent while we are inside them. But the solar system constantly demonstrates how temporary moments really are. Even centuries can become small when viewed from enough distance. Jupiter also acts like a giant protector for Earth. Because of its enormous gravity, Jupiter pulls many asteroids and comets away from the inner solar system. In a way, its massive presence helps reduce impacts that might otherwise threaten Earth. So while Jupiter appears distant and unrelated to daily life, it may have quietly shaped Earth's survival for millions of years. Some scientists believe life on Earth benefited greatly from Jupiter's gravitational influence, which means a giant gas planet, hundreds of millions of kilometers away, may have indirectly helped create the conditions allowing you to exist at all. The solar system is filled with invisible relationships like this, bodies influencing one another across enormous distances, everything connected through gravity. Gravity itself is one of the most relaxing ideas in astronomy, not because it is weak, but because it is dependable. Gravity never forgets. Every planet follows invisible curves through space because gravity continuously guides them. You cannot see it directly, but the entire solar system moves according to its structure. Moons remain near planets, planets remain near stars. Galaxies hold together through the same force. Even your body right now rests against Earth because gravity gently pulls you downward every second of your life. It is one of the few forces humans experience continuously from birth until death, always present, always patient. Saturn is probably the most visually calming planet ever discovered. Its rings appear almost unreal, as though someone placed them there intentionally. But the rings are natural. They are made mostly of ice particles, some tiny as dust, others as large as mountains. And despite appearing solid from far away, the rings are actually incredibly thin compared to their width. If Saturn's rings were scaled down to the size of a sheet of paper, much of their thickness would become almost microscopic. The rings are delicate, temporary too. Over long periods of time, Saturn slowly loses ring material. Tiny particles drift away or fall into the planet itself, which means the rings will not exist forever. You happen to live during one of the rare periods in cosmic history when Saturn wears them so visibly. That idea carries a quiet kind of beauty. Even in astronomy, Some things are temporary enough to witness only briefly. The moons of the outer solar system are often more emotionally interesting than the planets themselves. Take Europa, one of Jupiter's moons. Its surface is covered in smooth ice, marked by long cracks and reddish lines. Beneath that frozen shell may exist a massive ocean containing more water than all Earth's oceans combined, an ocean hidden beneath ice, in darkness, far from the sun. And yet scientists think it might still contain the conditions necessary for life. Not warm beaches or forests, but perhaps simple organisms surviving quietly beneath the ice. The solar system repeatedly reveals that life may not require comfort in the human sense, only stability, only energy, only time. And the solar system has plenty of time. Titan, Saturn's largest moon, contains lakes and rivers too, but not made of water. They are filled with liquid methane and ethane. Rain falls there, clouds drift there, rivers carve channels into the landscape there. In some ways, Titan resembles Earth, but at temperatures so cold that water behaves like rock. Imagine standing beneath an orange sky while methane rain falls silently around you. The solar system constantly creates familiar patterns using unfamiliar materials. It is like nature repeating themes in different languages. Mars carries a different kind of calm. People often describe Mars as lonely, and perhaps it is. Its deserts stretch across enormous distances beneath pink skies. Dust storms can grow so large they cover the entire planet. But Mars also preserves history in a way Earth cannot. Earth constantly reshapes itself through weather, oceans, and tectonic activity. Old surfaces disappear. Mars changes more slowly. Ancient riverbeds remain visible after billions of years. Dry lake basins still mark the surface. The planet remembers. When robotic rovers move across Mars, they sometimes pass landscapes untouched for geological ages. No footsteps, no cities, no trees moving in the wind, just dust and stone beneath a quiet sky. There is something mentally calming about places untouched by human urgency. Perhaps because they remind you the universe existed long before human stress appeared, and it will continue long after. Far beyond Neptune lies one of the strangest regions in the solar system, the Kuiper Belt, a distant zone filled with icy objects drifting in darkness. Sunlight there becomes weak and dim. The sun no longer dominates the sky the way it does on Earth. It becomes simply another bright star. Cold objects move slowly through space, sometimes taking hundreds of years to complete one orbit around the sun. Pluto lives there. For many people, Pluto still feels emotionally special, not because of its size, but because it exists so far away. There is something fascinating about worlds at the edge of sunlight. On Pluto, daytime resembles deep twilight on Earth. Temperatures fall hundreds of degrees below freezing. Nitrogen ice covers the ground. Mountains of frozen water rise into thin blue haze. And despite all this distance and coldness, Pluto still remains gravitationally connected to the Sun. Even at the edge of the solar system, the connection holds. That may be one of the quietest truths in astronomy. Distance does not necessarily mean separation. The farther scientists explore, the more the solar system begins to resemble an ecosystem rather than isolated objects. Comets carry water and organic molecules. Asteroids preserve material from the earliest solar system. Moons influence planetary rings. Gravity shapes everything continuously. Nothing exists entirely alone. Even Earth itself is partly made from ancient stellar material, older than the Sun. The iron in your blood originated inside stars that died long before the solar system formed, which means your body contains atoms older than Earth itself. In a literal physical sense, you are connected to cosmic history, not metaphorically. Actually, sometimes people search for relaxation by trying to feel smaller. But astronomy offers a slightly different feeling. Not smallness, participation. You are not outside the universe observing it from a distance. You are one temporary arrangement of the same matter moving through it. The solar system is not separate from you. You are one tiny expression of it becoming conscious enough to look back at itself. And perhaps that is why space feels emotionally calming to so many people, because it reduces the illusion of separation. At night, when you look upward, You are not looking at something disconnected from your life. You are looking at the larger structure you already belong to. The planets were forming long before human language existed. They will continue moving long after current worries disappear. And strangely, that realization can soften the mind. Not because problems become fake, but because they become temporary. The solar system has existed through impacts, extinctions, migrations, ice ages, and transformations beyond imagination. Yet the planets continue orbiting calmly, the moons continue turning, light continues traveling outward from the sun. Nothing rushes, nothing panics. Even now, somewhere in the darkness beyond Saturn, tiny particles of ice drift through silent rings. Somewhere beneath Europa's frozen crust, hidden oceans may slowly move in darkness. Somewhere on Mars, ancient dust rests exactly where it settled millions of years ago. And here on Earth, beneath the same star that illuminated every age before this one, you are listening quietly to the universe describe itself. Perhaps that is one of the most relaxing facts about the solar system. Not simply that it is large, but that it is stable enough for thought to exist inside it. Stable enough for awareness. Stable enough for a human mind to pause for a moment and notice the calm hidden inside motion itself. And as the planets continue their patient paths through space tonight, the solar system will remain exactly what it has always been. Vast, silent, ordered, and strangely peaceful. Beyond the planets most people recognize, the solar system becomes increasingly quiet, not empty, just distant in a way the human mind rarely experiences. Far from the warmth of the sun, objects drift through darkness so slowly that change almost loses meaning. Some regions of space are so cold that chemical reactions nearly stop. Matter settles into stillness. Ice hardens for millions of years without melting. Shadows remain untouched across geological ages. And yet even in these remote places, motion continues, always motion. One of the calmest ideas in astronomy is that nothing in the solar system is truly standing still. Earth rotates while you sleep. The moon moves around Earth while oceans quietly rise and fall. The planets orbit the sun. The sun itself travels through the Milky Way galaxy. Even the galaxy moves through the universe. Everything drifts together in enormous layered cycles. But because these movements happen so smoothly, human beings perceive stability instead of motion. You never feel Earth spinning at over 1,000 kilometers per hour near the equator. You never sense the planet falling endlessly around the sun. The solar system demonstrates that movement does not always create chaos. Sometimes movement creates balance. The moon is perhaps the most emotionally important object in the solar system after the sun. Humans have watched it longer than recorded history itself. Ancient people measured time through its phases. Travelers navigated beneath it. Entire mythologies formed around its changing shape. And despite all the technology surrounding modern life, the moon still affects human emotion in subtle ways. People become quiet when looking at it, not because the moon changes rapidly, but because it changes slowly enough to notice. Its cycle unfolds over nearly a month. Thin crescent becomes full brightness, then fades again into darkness. The pattern repeats so reliably that ancient civilizations could predict it with remarkable accuracy. There is comfort in predictable beauty. The moon also stabilizes Earth physically. Without it, Earth's rotational tilt might vary chaotically over long periods of time. Seasons could become unstable. Climate patterns might shift dramatically. So this silent object hanging above Earth has quietly helped maintain environmental stability for immense stretches of time. Again and again, the solar system reveals invisible forms of support, things influencing one another gently across distance. Even tides carry this relationship. Every ocean tide on Earth is partly a conversation between Earth and the moon through gravity. Water responds, coastlines respond, life responds, and all of it happens silently. Astronauts who traveled beyond Earth often described a strange psychological shift while observing the planet from space. They saw no borders, no countries, no arguments visible from orbit, only one small sphere suspended in darkness. This experience became known as the overview effect. Many astronauts reported feeling calmer afterward, more connected, less focused on individual conflict, because from far enough away, Earth appears fragile and unified at the same time. The solar system changes perspective simply by increasing distance, and perspective itself can calm the nervous system. Most human anxiety lives very close to the present moment, very close to the self. But astronomy gently stretches awareness outward, not to erase human experience, but to place it inside something larger. That larger scale can feel emotionally spacious. Even time behaves differently in the solar system. On Venus, a single rotation takes longer than its entire orbit around the Sun. In other words, a Venusian day lasts longer than its year. On Mercury, sunlight behaves strangely because of the planet's orbital speed and slow rotation. In some locations, the Sun appears to rise, stop, move backward briefly, then continue again. The solar system constantly challenges the assumptions humans build from living on Earth. You begin realizing that many things you consider normal are only local conditions. Even sunsets are not universal experiences. On Uranus, seasons last more than 20 years each because the planet rotates at an extreme angle. Parts of the planet experience decades of sunlight, followed by decades of darkness. Imagine waiting years for sunrise, or years for nightfall. Human impatience begins to feel very temporary beside planetary timescales. Neptune, the farthest major planet from the Sun, receives only a tiny fraction of Earth's sunlight, and yet Neptune still possesses active weather systems and powerful winds. This is one of the strangest patterns in the solar system. Even in darkness, activity continues. Energy moves in hidden ways. The universe rarely becomes completely still, but its motion often unfolds quietly enough that humans interpret it as calm. Comets are another example. From a distance, they appear delicate and almost dreamlike. Long glowing tails stretching softly across the sky. Ancient civilizations often feared them, treating them as omens or warnings. But modern astronomy transformed comets into something else entirely: time capsules. Many comets preserve material from the earliest solar system almost unchanged. Frozen inside them are particles older than Earth's oceans. When a comet passes through the inner solar system, sunlight warms it, releasing gas and dust into space. The beautiful tail forms as ancient material interacts with sunlight after billions of years in darkness. In a way, comets are memories becoming visible, fragments from the beginning still traveling quietly through space. Some scientists believe comets may have helped deliver water and organic molecules to early Earth, which means part of every ocean may trace its history back to ancient icy objects drifting through space long before life existed here. The solar system is full of these hidden continuities. Nothing begins completely from nothing. Everything emerges from earlier structures. Stars create elements. Elements form planets. Planets create chemistry. Chemistry eventually becomes biology, and biology develops awareness capable of studying stars again. A slow circular process unfolding across billions of years. There is something deeply calming about processes too large to rush. Human beings often expect immediate results from life, immediate answers, immediate progress. But nearly everything important in the universe forms slowly. Stars require millions of years to stabilize. Planets emerge gradually from dust. Canyons form through repetition. Even light itself needs time to cross space. The solar system quietly teaches patience through its existence alone. If you could sit somewhere beyond Pluto and look back toward the Sun, the entire solar system would appear surprisingly small. The planets would almost disappear into brightness. Earth itself would become invisible. All human history would vanish into a tiny point of light lost near the Sun. And yet every human memory, every conversation, every piece of music, every city, every story ever told exists inside that tiny region. This realization can feel strangely intimate rather than frightening. The solar system is enormous compared to human life, but also small enough to belong to, a kind of cosmic neighborhood surrounding one ordinary star among billions. And still, within that neighborhood, consciousness emerged. A species learned to measure planetary motion, to send machines across interplanetary space, to land on moons, to photograph distant worlds in silence. Perhaps the most peaceful aspect of astronomy is not the darkness, but the cooperation required to understand it. For centuries, Human beings across cultures observed the same sky, different languages, different civilizations, different beliefs. Yet the planets moved consistently for everyone. The moon rose for everyone. The stars appeared above every border humans ever created. The solar system quietly ignores division. It simply continues, and perhaps that is why the night sky has always felt ancient even to children. Before anyone understands astronomy, they still recognize something unusual about looking upward. The stars do not behave like ordinary objects. You cannot hold them. You cannot approach them easily. They remain distant, patient, unreachable in the normal human sense. And because of that distance, they seem untouched by ordinary life. For most of human history, people slept beneath visible stars every night. Entire generations grew familiar with the slow turning of constellations across the seasons. The sky functioned almost like a second calendar above Earth. Winter stars arrived, summer stars returned, patterns repeated, and repetition creates emotional steadiness. Modern life often surrounds the mind with irregular stimulation, sudden information, sudden noise, sudden changes. But astronomy is built from cycles, predictable motion, reliable return. The planets do not improvise. Even eclipses, which once terrified civilizations, can now be predicted centuries in advance with extraordinary accuracy. The shadow moving across Earth can be calculated long before anyone alive today was born. That level of order can feel deeply reassuring, especially when human life feels uncertain. The solar system also contains enormous empty spaces between worlds. This surprises many people. Movies often portray planets appearing close together, almost crowded. But in reality, space is mostly distance. If Earth were the size of a marble, Jupiter might be several hundred meters away. Neptune would be kilometers farther still. The solar system is less like a tightly packed machine and more like isolated islands floating through darkness. Yet despite these vast separations, gravity still connects everything. A force invisible to the eye reaches across emptiness and maintains structure. There is something psychologically comforting about invisible forms of connection. Because human life works similarly, people influence one another across distance all the time. Memories affect decisions years later. Small conversations alter entire futures. Someone far away can still shape your emotional world without speaking to you directly. The solar system quietly mirrors this principle on a cosmic scale. Influence does not require closeness. Saturn's moon Enceladus is one of the brightest objects in the solar system because its icy surface reflects sunlight almost perfectly. But what makes Enceladus remarkable is what exists beneath that ice. Deep below the frozen crust lies a hidden ocean. Scientists discovered enormous geysers erupting from cracks near the moon's south pole, spraying water vapor and ice particles into space. A moon only a few hundred kilometers wide contains underground oceans, powerful enough to send material beyond its own gravity. And inside those eruptions, scientists found organic compounds, not proof of life, but ingredients associated with it. Again and again, the solar system reveals that hidden activity often exists beneath quiet surfaces. This is true emotionally as well. Many calm things are not empty. They are simply stable enough to contain depth without displaying it constantly. The gas giants themselves are difficult for the human mind to fully imagine. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune do not possess solid surfaces like Earth. If you descended into them, the atmosphere would gradually thicken until gas transformed into exotic liquid states under immense pressure. There may be rains of diamonds inside Neptune and Uranus. Deep within Jupiter, pressure becomes so extreme that hydrogen may behave like liquid metal. The solar system contains forms of matter and environments far stranger than early humans could ever have imagined. And yet all these worlds still obey the same physical laws operating here on Earth. The same gravity affecting your body shapes entire planets. The same atoms existing in distant nebulae exist inside your hands. Astronomy often feels calming because it combines mystery with consistency. The universe remains strange, but not random. One of the quietest discoveries in modern astronomy is that many planetary systems beyond our own appear surprisingly common. Scientists now know that planets orbit countless stars throughout the galaxy. Some systems contain giant planets larger than Jupiter. Some contain rocky worlds possibly similar to Earth. Some stars possess planets orbiting so close that their years last only days. Others contain frozen worlds drifting in darkness far from warmth. The solar system may not be unusual at all, and strangely, that possibility can feel comforting rather than diminishing, because it suggests nature creates structure repeatedly. Worlds are not rare accidents. The universe seems naturally capable of building them, perhaps somewhere far away. Another moon reflects light onto another ocean beneath another sky, not identical to Earth, but shaped by the same physical principles. The Voyager spacecraft carry this feeling of quiet exploration more than anything else humans have ever built. Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 launched in 1977. They traveled past giant planets, photographed distant moons, and continued outward toward interstellar space. Even now, decades later, they still move through darkness carrying faint signals back to Earth. Inside each spacecraft is a golden record containing sounds and images from Earth, music, greetings, natural sounds, human attempts to introduce themselves to the cosmos. The spacecraft are unimaginably far away now, and yet they continue moving, small machines built by temporary creatures on a small planet orbiting an ordinary star. There is something profoundly peaceful about that image. Not conquest, not dominance, just curiosity, traveling quietly through darkness. One photograph taken by Voyager 1 became especially famous. At the request of astronomer Carl Sagan, the spacecraft turned its camera back toward Earth from billions of kilometers away. Earth appeared only as a tiny pale dot suspended in a beam of sunlight, almost invisible. Every person you have ever heard of lived inside that tiny point. Every war, every love story, every invention, every argument, every dream, compressed into a fraction of a pixel. The image became known as the pale blue dot, and for many people, it remains one of the most emotionally calming images ever created, because it reframes human importance without removing human meaning. You are small in scale, but not meaningless. A tiny thing can still matter deeply. The solar system constantly balances those two truths: scale and significance, immensity and intimacy. Ancient starlight touches human eyes. Tiny minds study giant planets. Temporary beings measure eternal cycles. And somewhere within all this motion, people still pause at night, simply to watch the moon. Perhaps relaxation does not always come from escaping thought. Perhaps sometimes it comes from entering a larger perspective gently enough that the mind stops gripping itself so tightly. The solar system offers that perspective freely, not through instruction, not through judgment, only through presence. The planets continue orbiting whether humans notice them or not. The stars continue burning. The moons continue turning through darkness. And overhead tonight, beyond the atmosphere surrounding Earth, the vast machinery of the solar system continues its silent movement with extraordinary patience, a patience so immense that human life itself becomes one brief, thoughtful moment inside it. If you could somehow speed up time and watch the solar system over millions of years, it would no longer appear still. The planets would trace glowing loops around the sun like slow-moving clockwork. Mercury would rush rapidly through tight circles. The outer planets would drift more gradually, carrying their moons with them like companions. Comets would dive inward from darkness and disappear again into distant cold. And throughout all of it, the sun would remain near the center, holding the system together through gravity alone. No ropes, no engines, no visible structure, just curvature in space itself guiding motion continuously. There is something calming about systems that operate without supervision. The solar system does not require maintenance in the human sense. No one adjusts Saturn's orbit. No one reminds Mars to rotate. These worlds move according to physical laws so consistent that scientists can predict eclipses, alignments, and orbital positions far into the future. Reliability at that scale feels almost meditative, especially because human life often feels unpredictable by comparison. But perhaps unpredictability exists mainly at small scales. From far enough away, even human civilization may resemble patterns unfolding over time. Growth, conflict, adaptation, change. Nature repeats themes everywhere. One of the most peaceful regions in the solar system may actually be the asteroid belt. People sometimes imagine it as a crowded field of tumbling rocks packed tightly together, forcing spacecraft to dodge constantly. But the reality is quieter. The asteroids are separated by enormous distances. A spacecraft can pass through the belt without dramatic maneuvering because space itself is so vast. And these ancient rocks have existed there for billions of years, orbiting silently between Mars and Jupiter. Some are tiny fragments. Others, like Ceres, are large enough to become dwarf planets. Many remain almost unchanged since the early solar system formed, which means certain asteroids are older than mountains, oceans, forests, or even life on Earth. They are leftovers from the beginning, ancient material still circling patiently around the Sun. Astronomers sometimes describe the solar system as a fossil record, not of bones, but of formation. Every object preserves clues about the past. Craters reveal impacts, ice layers preserve chemistry, orbital paths reveal gravitational history, even silence tells a story. The Moon, for example, lacks weather and liquid water, so footprints left there by astronauts may remain for millions of years. Human presence preserved in dust because nothing erases it. Imagine that, a footprint surviving longer than most mountains on Earth. The solar system treats time differently. On Earth, change is constant because the planet is alive with movement. Wind reshapes landscapes. Water wears down stone. Plants grow and decay. But elsewhere in the solar system, some places remain nearly frozen in history. Time continues, yet visible change slows almost to nothing. This creates a strange emotional effect when viewing photographs from distant worlds. The landscapes appear calm beyond ordinary human experience, not peaceful because they are comfortable, peaceful because they are stable. A crater on Mercury may remain almost exactly the same for immense spans of time. A plain on Mars may wait untouched beneath dust storms for millions of years. The human nervous system rarely encounters environments this ancient and still. Perhaps that is why space imagery feels mentally quiet to so many people. It shows forms of stillness larger than human civilization itself. Even darkness behaves differently in space. On Earth, darkness usually contains atmosphere. Air scatters light softly. Cities glow faintly over the horizon. Clouds reflect moonlight. But space contains a deeper darkness, a clean darkness, without atmosphere. Shadows become sharp and absolute. Sunlit regions blaze brightly while nearby shadows fall into almost complete blackness. Astronauts describe this contrast as emotionally striking. The universe does not fade gently between light and dark. It divides them clearly, and yet both exist side by side, constantly. Perhaps human life resembles this more than people realize. Moments of difficulty and moments of peace often coexist rather than replace one another entirely. The solar system contains both violent history and extraordinary calm at the same time. Asteroids once reshaped planets through impacts. Volcanoes on ancient worlds erupted for ages. Moons cracked beneath tidal forces. And still, across billions of years, the overall structure remains stable enough for life to emerge on at least one small planet. This balance between chaos and order may be one of the deepest patterns in nature. Not perfect stability, not endless destruction, but systems adapting continuously without collapsing completely. Earth itself exists in a remarkably narrow zone around the Sun, where liquid water can remain stable. Too close, and oceans might evaporate. Too far, and they could freeze permanently. Astronomers call this the habitable zone. But even within this zone, Earth's long-term stability depends on countless interacting conditions. The atmosphere regulates temperature. The magnetic field helps protect the surface from harmful solar radiation. The Moon stabilizes Earth's tilt. Plate tectonics recycle carbon through the planet over geological timescales. Life exists partly because many systems remain balanced simultaneously, and balance often appears quiet from the outside. Forests grow silently. Cells divide silently. Planets orbit silently. Some of the most important processes in existence make almost no noise at all. One day, billions of years from now, the solar system will change dramatically. The sun will eventually exhaust the hydrogen fuel in its core and begin expanding into a red giant star. Its outer layers will grow outward across the inner solar system. Mercury will likely disappear entirely. Venus may vanish as well. Earth itself could become unrecognizable. But even this transformation will happen slowly, not in a sudden explosion. Over immense spans of time, the sun will gradually brighten long before its final expansion begins. Oceans may evaporate. Skies may change. The surface of Earth may eventually become too hot for life as humans know it. And yet the atoms composing Earth will continue. Matter rarely disappears completely in the universe. It changes form. Stars release material back into space. New stars emerge later from ancient remnants. The solar system itself formed from earlier stars that died before the sun existed. So even endings in astronomy are often transitions, not erasure. There is something emotionally gentle about that perspective. Nature does not cling tightly to permanence. It transforms continuously. And perhaps much human anxiety comes from expecting stillness in a universe built from motion. The solar system never stops moving, not for a moment. And yet movement does not prevent beauty. In fact, beauty often emerges from movement repeated patiently over time. The rings of Saturn exist because countless particles orbit together. Tides exist because the moon moves around Earth. Seasons exist because Earth tilts while traveling around the sun. Even sunsets depend on rotation. Stillness is not always the absence of motion. Sometimes it is motion so balanced that the mind experiences it as calm. Tonight, while cities glow and oceans shift beneath moonlight, the solar system continues around you exactly as it did yesterday. Mars still crosses the dark silently. Jupiter still turns beneath its storms. Distant icy bodies still drift beyond Neptune, where sunlight barely reaches. And above all of it, the stars continue shining with patient indifference to human urgency, not cold indifference, simply timelessness. The universe does not rush because it does not need to. Everything unfolds at its own scale, and perhaps there is comfort in remembering that your own life also moves at a human scale, not a planetary one, not a stellar one. You are allowed to exist briefly, to wander briefly, to look upward for a moment beneath this ancient system of worlds and feel, even temporarily, the quiet stability hidden inside the motion of the cosmos. There is a reason many people find it easier to think at night. The solar system becomes more visible in darkness. During the day, human attention stays close to Earth. Roads, buildings, conversations, screens, responsibilities. The mind narrows toward immediate surroundings, but at night, the horizon softens, distance returns, the sky opens again, and somewhere deep in human psychology, that widening space changes the rhythm of thought itself. For most of history, darkness did not separate people from the universe. It revealed it. Ancient observers sat beneath skies untouched by electric light and watched planets wander slowly among the stars. They noticed that certain bright objects behaved differently from the others. The stars remained fixed in patterns, but planets moved. The word planet itself comes from an ancient term meaning wanderer, and wandering is exactly what they appeared to do. Night after night, year after year, these points of light slowly shifted position against the background sky. Without telescopes or spacecraft, humans already sensed that the solar system was alive with motion. There is something calming about the fact that careful observation alone revealed so much. Human beings often assume understanding requires advanced technology, but many truths first emerge through patience, through watching slowly the phases of Venus, the changing brightness of Mars, the steady return of Saturn. All these patterns became visible because people spent time looking upward consistently. Astronomy rewards attention, and attention itself can become calming when it focuses on something larger than personal worry. Mars appears red because its surface contains iron oxide, rust. In a sense, the planet is covered in ancient oxidized dust. The same chemical process affecting forgotten metal objects on Earth colors an entire world millions of kilometers away. The universe often repeats familiar chemistry across unfamiliar scales. Clouds on Earth and clouds on distant planets both follow physical laws. Ice forms on comets and at Earth's poles. Gravity shapes galaxies and falling leaves alike. The solar system feels less alien the more deeply you study it, not because it becomes smaller, but because connections appear everywhere. Even human sleep is indirectly linked to astronomy. Earth rotates away from the sun each evening, allowing darkness and cooler temperatures to spread gradually across the surface. Biological rhythms evolved beneath this planetary cycle for hundreds of millions of years. Your body carries ancient responses to light and darkness, because Earth itself moves predictably through space. Circadian rhythms are, in part, astronomical rhythms. The solar system lives quietly inside biology. There are places in the solar system where sunsets would last for hours. On Mars, sunlight filters through dusty air, turning the sky soft shades of orange, pink, and blue. Near sunset, the colors reverse compared to Earth. The area around the sun glows bluish, while the rest of the sky becomes warmer. On Titan, sunlight passes through thick atmospheric haze, creating dim amber illumination across lakes of liquid methane. On Uranus, the distant sun would appear much smaller and fainter than it does from Earth, casting a weak, cold light over the atmosphere. Every world possesses its own version of dawn and evening, its own relationship with light, and yet all of them remain connected to the same star. The sun binds the solar system together not only through gravity, but through illumination. Even at immense distances, sunlight continues outward patiently, weakening, but never truly stopping. Some photons leaving the sun right now may travel across the solar system for hours before touching distant ice beyond Neptune. Light itself becomes a kind of slow traveler. Perhaps this is one reason space feels emotionally gentle. So much of it unfolds gradually. Human beings evolved to react strongly to sudden movement and immediate threats. But astronomy rarely operates on those timescales. Instead, it invites the mind into slower forms of awareness: orbital cycles, seasonal changes, geological ages, the slow birth and death of stars. When the mind engages with larger timescales, ordinary stress sometimes loosens slightly, not because life stops mattering, but because perspective expands around it. One of the quietest facts about the solar system is that Earth's atmosphere is surprisingly thin. From the surface, the sky appears enormous, but compared to Earth itself, the atmosphere forms only a delicate layer surrounding the planet, a fragile boundary between life and space. Almost every sound you have ever heard existed inside that thin shell of air. Beyond it lies silence. The solar system reminds humans repeatedly how delicate living environments really are, and yet fragility does not prevent beauty. Soap bubbles are fragile, snowflakes melt, flowers bloom briefly. Temporary things often become meaningful precisely because they do not last forever. Earth may be rare not because planets are uncommon, but because stable living conditions require extraordinary balance: liquid water, moderate temperatures, protective atmosphere, long-term stability. The solar system demonstrates how unusual this combination may be. Venus became overwhelmingly hot. Mars lost much of its atmosphere long ago, but Earth remained balanced within a narrow range where oceans, weather, ecosystems, and eventually consciousness could emerge. You are living inside an unlikely equilibrium, and perhaps realizing this makes ordinary existence feel slightly quieter. Not guaranteed, not permanent, but deeply remarkable. Astronomers often use the phrase deep time to describe geological and cosmic timescales extending far beyond human history. Deep time changes how the mind experiences importance. A mountain no longer seems permanent. An ocean becomes temporary. Even continents drift slowly across Earth's surface over millions of years. Nothing holds one shape forever, and strangely, this can reduce emotional rigidity. Because human life also changes continuously. Thoughts shift, relationships evolve, difficult periods pass. Identity itself transforms gradually over time. The solar system offers a larger mirror for processes already happening within ordinary life. Everything moves, everything changes, but change itself can remain orderly. The stars visible tonight are not all the same age. Some are young and bright, others are ancient beyond imagination. Some may already no longer exist, though their light still travels toward Earth across enormous distances. Looking into space is partly looking into the past. The farther away something is, the older the light you receive from it becomes. Astronomy turns distance into memory, and memory into visible light. Even the solar system carries memories of earlier eras. Impact scars on moons preserve ancient collisions. Frozen regions preserve chemistry from planetary formation. Orbital resonances record gravitational history across billions of years. The universe remembers through structure. Nothing truly disappears without leaving traces behind. Late at night, when the world grows quieter and human activity slows, it becomes easier to sense these larger patterns. The steady moon, the turning Earth, the patient movement of planets through darkness. Perhaps this is why astronomy so often accompanies reflection. Not because space provides answers to every human question, but because it changes the emotional scale at which those questions are held. A worried mind tends to contract inward. The solar system encourages expansion outward, toward distance, toward time, toward continuity. And somewhere above Earth tonight, beyond weather and clouds and artificial light, the ancient architecture of the solar system continues exactly as it has for billions of years. Worlds circling silently, moons drifting faithfully beside planets, rings of ice reflecting distant sunlight, comets sleeping in darkness beyond Neptune. And at the center of it all, one stable star continuing to shine into the vastness with extraordinary patience. A patience so immense that even human rest feels naturally at home within it. In many ways, the solar system is a story about balance. Not perfect balance, not permanent balance, but balance sustained long enough for complexity to emerge. Earth balances between freezing and overheating. The atmosphere balances gases carefully enough for life to breathe. The oceans absorb heat and redistribute it around the planet. Even the human body depends on balance constantly. Temperature, pressure, oxygen, sleep cycles, heartbeat rhythms. And when people look into space, they often discover that the same principle appears everywhere. Planets remain in orbit because motion and gravity balance each other continuously. Without forward motion, a planet would fall into the sun. Without gravity, it would drift away into darkness. Orbit itself is a kind of endless falling that never fully arrives. The Earth is constantly falling around the sun, and yet that fall creates stability. There is something psychologically beautiful about that idea. Sometimes stability is not the absence of movement, but movement held in harmony. The International Space Station experiences this directly. Astronauts aboard it are not floating because gravity disappeared. Earth's gravity still reaches them strongly. They float because the station is falling around Earth at tremendous speed while continuously missing the surface. Even human spaceflight depends on balance rather than escape, and perhaps much of life works similarly. People often imagine peace as reaching a final, unmoving state, but nature rarely behaves that way. Instead, peace may be closer to sustained adjustment, a dynamic equilibrium. The solar system quietly demonstrates this again and again. Even the sun balances enormous opposing forces. Gravity pulls inward relentlessly, attempting to compress the star. Nuclear fusion pushes outward from the core. These forces oppose one another continuously, and for billions of years their balance has maintained the sun's stability. Without that equilibrium, life on Earth would never have existed. One of the most relaxing things about astronomy is how often invisible forces create visible beauty. You cannot see gravity directly, but you can see Saturn's rings shaped by it. You can see galaxies spiral because of it. You can see tides rise along coastlines because of the moon's gravitational pull. The most powerful structures in the universe are often hidden. Human emotions work similarly. Invisible experiences shape visible behavior all the time. Memory, longing, fear, affection, grief, hope. None of them can be physically touched, yet they alter entire lives. The universe is filled with unseen influences, some cosmic, some deeply personal, and both leave patterns behind. One quiet truth about the solar system is that it is mostly cold, very cold. Earth feels warm and alive because the atmosphere traps heat efficiently and the sun sits relatively nearby. But beyond Earth, temperatures drop rapidly. In deep space, far from stars, the background temperature of the universe approaches absolute zero, the coldest temperature physically possible, and yet warmth persists in certain places. Beneath Europa's ice through tidal heating, inside planets through radioactive decay, around hydrothermal vents deep beneath Earth's oceans, life finds small islands of energy surrounded by enormous coldness. That pattern feels strangely familiar to human existence too. Meaning often gathers locally: a conversation, a memory, a room filled with quiet light during nighttime, small pockets of warmth inside a vast universe. Astronomers sometimes speak about the Goldilocks principle. Certain conditions must exist within narrow ranges for particular outcomes to occur. Water must remain neither too hot nor too cold. Stars must survive long enough for planets to form. Worlds require stability across immense periods of time. The solar system teaches that existence depends less on perfection than on precise relationships. Tiny changes in gravity, temperature, distance, or chemistry could create entirely different realities. And yet somehow, across billions of years, balance held long enough for consciousness to emerge, for minds to study stars, for human beings to lie awake at night wondering about their place among planets. Perhaps one of the calmest astronomical ideas is that humans are not outside nature observing it from safety. You are nature. Your thoughts are physical events occurring inside a biological structure made from ancient stellar material. The calcium in your bones, the oxygen you breathe, the carbon in every cell, all were forged through cosmic processes long before Earth existed. When stars died, they released elements into space. Later, those elements became new stars, planets, oceans, and eventually living organisms. The solar system is not separate from your existence. It is your origin story. Sometimes people describe space as empty, but this is not entirely true. Even the darkest regions contain particles, radiation, magnetic fields, drifting molecules, and traces of ancient explosions. Complete emptiness may not exist anywhere. There are always faint interactions continuing quietly. The same may be true psychologically. People rarely become completely empty internally. Thoughts continue beneath silence. Memory continues beneath distraction. The mind moves like space itself, often appearing still from the outside, while subtle activity continues within. Meteor showers provide one of the gentlest examples of Earth's connection to the solar system. When you see meteors streak across the sky, you are often witnessing tiny particles left behind by comets. Earth passes through these invisible streams during its orbit around the Sun each year. Small fragments enter the atmosphere at tremendous speed and burn briefly, creating lines of light across darkness. Some meteors began their journey before human civilization existed. Ancient dust touches Earth's atmosphere and becomes visible for only seconds, a temporary flash revealing a much older process. The solar system constantly produces moments like this, quiet intersections between immense time and brief human observation. Even eclipses, once feared as supernatural events, now feel strangely calming when understood scientifically. A solar eclipse occurs because the moon happens to appear almost exactly the same size as the sun in Earth's sky. The moon is vastly smaller, but also vastly closer. This coincidence allows the moon to cover the sun almost perfectly during certain alignments. For a few minutes, daytime darkens, temperatures cool slightly, stars emerge, birds become confused, the atmosphere itself changes character. And all of it occurs because celestial bodies move according to predictable geometry. An eclipse feels magical precisely because it is so orderly. The universe creates beauty through mathematics repeatedly. Patterns appear everywhere: orbital resonances, planetary cycles, spiral galaxies, crystal structures inside meteorites. Even music depends on mathematical relationships between vibrations. Nature does not separate beauty from structure. The two often emerge together. Late at night, when most people sleep and the world grows quieter, the solar system continues moving overhead unnoticed. Mars may rise above the horizon, while cities remain unaware. Saturn may reflect sunlight softly through darkness, while oceans shift beneath the moon's gravity. Far beyond human sight, distant icy bodies continue their slow paths around the sun, taking centuries or millennia to complete a single orbit. The universe does not require attention to continue, and perhaps there is relief in that. Not everything depends on human awareness. The stars shone before the first human looked upward. Planets formed before language existed. Galaxies turned silently long before Earth cooled enough for oceans. The cosmos carries on patiently regardless of observation. Yet observation still matters, because through conscious awareness, the universe gains the ability to notice itself. A human being looking at Saturn is matter becoming aware of other matter across distance. A temporary mind recognizing ancient structure. And maybe that recognition itself is one of the quietest forms of connection possible. Tonight, as Earth rotates beneath the sky once again, the solar system remains vast beyond ordinary imagination. But it is not chaotic, not random, not rushing. Worlds continue orbiting in silence. Gravity continues shaping motion invisibly. Ancient light continues crossing darkness patiently. And somewhere beneath all of it, human beings continue searching for calm beneath the same sky that watched over every generation before them. If the solar system teaches anything clearly, it is that scale changes emotion. A problem that feels enormous inside one room may feel smaller beneath a sky filled with stars. Not because the problem disappears, but because the mind briefly reconnects with proportion. Astronomy does not remove human feelings. It surrounds them with context, and context can quiet the nervous system in subtle ways. When you think about Earth from space, you begin realizing how thin the boundaries between things really are. The atmosphere blends gradually into darkness. Coastlines shift over time. Clouds move freely across borders humans invented only recently. From orbit, storms appear larger than nations. Ocean currents stretch across hemispheres. Wildfires create smoke visible from space itself. The solar system constantly reminds you that nature operates at scales beyond politics, schedules, and daily urgency. And strangely, that realization can feel freeing, because much of human stress comes from treating temporary structures as permanent ones. But planets do not recognize calendars. The moon does not care about deadlines. Jupiter turns slowly through darkness without awareness of human tension. The larger universe continues at its own pace. One of the most remarkable things about the solar system is how gentle many planetary motions actually are. Earth moves around the sun at incredible speed, yet the motion feels completely smooth because there is no friction in space to create jolts or resistance. The planet simply continues falling forward through emptiness. Spaceflight often works this way too. Astronauts describe orbit not as violent motion, but as floating smoothness on an enormous scale. Perhaps humans associate calmness with slowness because on Earth, fast movement usually creates turbulence. But in space, immense speed and deep stillness can exist together. That idea feels almost philosophical. A person may appear calm externally, while carrying intense inner motion, or someone may move through a busy life with remarkable steadiness, because their internal balance remains intact. Nature rarely separates opposites completely. Motion and stillness often coexist. Light and darkness coexist. Fragility and endurance coexist. The solar system holds contradictions together constantly. Consider Neptune again. It lies so far from the sun that sunlight there is faint and cold. Yet Neptune contains some of the fastest winds ever measured in the solar system. A dark, frozen planet filled with violent atmospheric motion. And still, viewed from far away, Neptune appears serene, a soft blue sphere drifting silently through darkness. Distance changes perception. The same is true emotionally. When people are very close to a difficult moment, everything feels immediate and overwhelming. But with enough time or perspective, patterns emerge that were invisible before. Astronomy naturally trains the mind to think in patterns, rather than isolated moments. Planetary systems form, stars evolve, galaxies interact, cycles repeat. The universe behaves more like a process than a collection of separate events. Even Earth's history becomes calmer when viewed through deep time. Mass extinctions once seemed like absolute endings, yet life adapted repeatedly. Forests returned, oceans recovered, new species emerged. Nature absorbs disruption slowly and continues transforming. This does not erase suffering, but it reveals resilience woven deeply into reality itself. There are regions on Mars where ancient river valleys remain carved into the surface, evidence that liquid water once flowed there billions of years ago. Imagine rivers existing so long ago that multicellular life on Earth had not yet appeared. The solar system contains histories far older than human imagination naturally handles, and because of that, it can soften the intensity of short-term thinking. A stressful week becomes very small beside a billion years. Even civilizations become brief. The pyramids of Egypt, which feel ancient to humans, formed relatively recently compared to many geological features on Earth, and Earth itself is young compared to parts of the universe. The solar system stretches the mind gently beyond ordinary scales of concern, not to make life meaningless, but to make existence feel spacious. One subtle reason astronomy relaxes people is because it replaces noise with observation. The night sky does not demand immediate reaction. Stars do not interrupt you. Planets do not argue. The universe presents itself quietly, allowing attention to move at a slower pace. Modern environments rarely offer this. Most systems competing for human attention are designed to provoke urgency. Alerts, headlines, messages, movement. But the solar system simply exists. It asks nothing. And perhaps that is why looking upward can feel restorative. You are encountering something immense that does not require performance from you, only awareness. Even telescopes reflect this slower relationship with reality. Astronomers often spend long periods waiting patiently for conditions to align. Clouds must clear, instruments must stabilize, light must arrive. Some observations require exposures lasting hours. The deeper you look into the universe, the more patience becomes necessary, because faint things reveal themselves slowly. There may be a lesson hidden there. Not everything meaningful appears immediately. Some forms of understanding require stillness long enough for subtle patterns to emerge. The solar system is filled with subtle patterns. The orbital resonance between Jupiter's moons Io, Europa, and Ganymede keeps their gravitational interactions stable over time. Pluto and Neptune never collide despite crossing similar orbital regions because their motions remain mathematically synchronized. Saturn's rings contain delicate wave patterns caused by the gravitational influence of moons nearby. Invisible relationships create visible harmony. Music works similarly. So do ecosystems. So do human communities at their best. The universe repeatedly builds order from interaction rather than isolation. Even solitude in space is never complete separation. Earth constantly exchanges energy with the sun. The moon influences tides. Asteroids carry material between regions of the solar system. Radiation crosses immense distance continuously. Everything participates in larger systems. Perhaps this realization calms people, because isolation often intensifies fear, connection reduces it, and astronomy reveals connection everywhere. Sometimes through gravity, sometimes through light, sometimes through shared origin. One day, humans may walk on Mars regularly. Perhaps future generations will watch sunsets from worlds other than Earth. Perhaps cities will exist beneath protective domes on distant moons. But even if humanity spreads farther into the solar system, one thing will likely remain unchanged. People will still look upward at night, because curiosity itself seems deeply rooted in human nature. The desire to understand where you are, the desire to locate yourself within something larger. And the solar system answers that desire gently. You are here, on a small rotating world orbiting an ordinary star inside one galaxy among billions. Tiny in scale, yet capable of awareness vast enough to imagine distant planets and ancient light. That combination is extraordinary. The universe became conscious enough, through you and others like you, to ask questions about itself. Late tonight, while many people sleep beneath city lights without seeing the stars above them, Earth will continue its quiet journey around the sun. The moon will continue pulling softly at the oceans. Saturn's rings will continue circling their planet in silence. Distant comets will continue drifting through darkness beyond Neptune. And the solar system, ancient, patient, endlessly moving, will remain what it has always been, not merely a collection of worlds, but a vast unfolding rhythm of gravity, light, time, and motion. A rhythm so steady that for a few quiet moments, the human mind can rest inside it. The deeper scientists study the solar system, the more they discover that calmness and complexity often exist together. At first glance, many planets appear simple from far away. A red sphere, a blue sphere, a pale ringed world suspended in blackness. But closer observation reveals layers upon layers of structure. Atmospheres move in patterns. Magnetic fields pulse invisibly through space. Moons interact gravitationally. Ice shifts. Storms evolve. Radiation flows outward from the sun continuously. The solar system is not static. It is alive with process. Yet despite all this activity, it rarely feels frantic, because almost everything unfolds according to timescales larger than human urgency. A storm on Neptune may last for years. A season on Uranus may last decades. An orbit beyond Pluto may require centuries. Nature does not hurry simply because humans feel impatient, and there is something emotionally soothing about systems that refuse urgency. Human civilization often rewards speed. Fast responses, fast growth, fast communication. But the solar system demonstrates another form of stability entirely: persistence. The planets survive not because they move quickly, but because they move consistently. Consistency creates worlds. Even erosion on Earth, which reshapes mountains and coastlines, depends mostly on repetition rather than force. A small amount of water falling steadily over immense periods of time can carve entire canyons. The universe repeatedly shows that gentle, continuous processes often become more powerful than sudden, dramatic ones. This is true psychologically too. Small habits reshape minds over time. Quiet thoughts repeated daily become beliefs. Slow healing changes people gradually from within. The solar system mirrors this patient form of transformation everywhere. Take Earth's moon again. It drifts away from Earth by a few centimeters each year because of tidal interactions between the two bodies. The change is tiny, almost invisible during one lifetime. But over hundreds of millions of years, that slow movement becomes enormous. Even distance itself evolves gradually. The universe rarely changes all at once. One reason planetary motion feels calming is because it is circular. Human beings respond emotionally to cycles, breathing, heartbeat rhythms, day and night, the changing seasons, sleep and waking. Cycles create predictability, and predictability helps the nervous system relax. The solar system operates through cycles on nearly every scale. Planets orbit stars, moons orbit planets, stars orbit galactic centers. Even galaxies interact in repeating gravitational patterns. Circular motion appears throughout the cosmos, like a recurring language. Ancient cultures noticed this long before modern astronomy existed. Many early calendars emerged directly from observing celestial cycles. Human timekeeping itself developed partly from watching the sky. Months follow lunar phases. Years follow Earth's orbit around the sun. Days follow planetary rotation. Your experience of time is deeply astronomical. Even aging is connected to orbital motion. Every birthday marks another completed journey around the sun. A human life can be measured in orbits. Perhaps this is why the solar system feels strangely intimate, despite its enormous scale. It already shapes everyday existence continuously. You do not need to travel into space to participate in astronomy. You are already inside it. Right now, Earth's magnetic field extends far beyond the atmosphere into space, forming a protective region called the magnetosphere. This invisible structure shields the planet from much of the charged radiation flowing outward from the sun. Without it, Earth's surface would be far more hostile to life. Again, one of the most important systems protecting human existence remains invisible. The solar system repeatedly reminds you that unseen structures matter profoundly. Gravity, magnetism, atmospheric balance, radiation fields. Much of reality operates beneath direct perception. The same is often true emotionally. People carry invisible inner worlds everywhere they go. Memories shape reactions. Private grief alters behavior silently. Affection influences choices without announcement. Not everything important can be observed immediately from the outside. Sometimes the quietest forces are the most powerful. Solar eclipses reveal another hidden aspect of the sun. Normally, sunlight overwhelms the faint outer atmosphere surrounding the star, called the corona. But during an eclipse, when the moon blocks the bright surface, the corona becomes visible. Pale streams of glowing plasma extending outward into darkness. A hidden structure appears only when brightness decreases. There is wisdom in that pattern. Certain details become visible only during quieter moments. Modern life floods attention constantly with stimulation, leaving little room for subtle observation. But astronomy often rewards reduced brightness, reduced noise, reduced interference. The deepest observations usually happen in darkness, far from cities, far from distraction. Perhaps the mind works similarly. Clarity sometimes emerges not through adding more information, but through creating enough quietness to notice what was already there. The outer solar system especially carries this feeling of deep quiet. Sunlight weakens, temperatures fall, orbital periods stretch into centuries. The Kuiper Belt and beyond contain icy remnants from planetary formation drifting in immense darkness. And farther still lies the Oort cloud, a vast theoretical shell of frozen objects surrounding the solar system at extraordinary distances. Some comets may travel from this distant region toward the Sun after gravitational disturbances alter their paths. A single comet can spend millions of years in darkness before briefly becoming visible from Earth. Imagine existing mostly in silence and coldness, then suddenly glowing brilliantly near the Sun for a short time before returning outward again. Even comets possess cycles of withdrawal and return. There are likely mountains on distant moons that no sunlight has touched for billions of years. Craters near the poles of Mercury and the Moon contain permanent shadows where temperatures remain so low that ice can survive indefinitely. The solar system contains places where darkness itself becomes stable, and yet nearby, stars continue burning. The universe balances light and shadow everywhere simultaneously. Perhaps human life does too. Moments of confusion and moments of understanding. Periods of loneliness and connection. Rest and movement. The solar system rarely presents extremes in isolation. Instead, opposites coexist continuously. One of the most comforting truths in astronomy is that humans do not need to fully understand the universe in order to belong to it. For thousands of years, people watched the stars without knowing what they were. They still felt wonder, still felt connection. Understanding deepens appreciation, but mystery itself also carries emotional value. Not every unknown must become frightening. Some mysteries become peaceful precisely because they remain larger than complete explanation. The night sky preserves that feeling even now. You can learn astrophysics, planetary science, orbital mechanics, stellar evolution, and still look upward with the same quiet awe ancient humans felt beside fires thousands of years ago. Knowledge does not remove wonder. Often it expands it, because reality becomes even more intricate than imagination first assumed. Tonight, somewhere beyond your sight, spacecraft continue traveling through the solar system. Machines built by human hands move silently past planets and moons, carrying instruments designed to study light, dust, gravity, radiation, and time itself. Tiny emissaries from Earth crossing enormous darkness patiently. And back on Earth, countless people sleep beneath the same sky those spacecraft explore. The same moon, the same planets, the same ancient sunlight arriving each morning after crossing space. The solar system continues surrounding human life constantly, whether noticed or not. A vast, quiet architecture of motion and balance, holding billions of years of history inside it. And perhaps the most relaxing realization of all is this: the universe does not demand that you solve it completely tonight. The planets will continue orbiting without urgency. The stars will continue shining patiently. The galaxies will continue turning through darkness beyond imagination. And you are allowed, for this brief moment on one small world, simply to exist beneath it all, listening quietly to the slow movement of the cosmos. There is something deeply calming about realizing that the solar system existed long before human attention arrived. The planets did not begin moving when humans discovered them. Saturn's rings circled quietly before the first telescope was built. Mars reflected reddish light into ancient skies before language fully developed. Comets crossed above forests, oceans, deserts, and ice sheets long before anyone understood what they were. The universe was already complete in its motion. Human beings simply awakened inside it slowly. And perhaps that is one reason astronomy feels emotionally different from many other sciences. It does not place humanity at the center. It places humanity inside a larger continuity. A continuity so vast that even silence begins to feel meaningful. When astronauts describe space, many speak not only about beauty, but about stillness. Not absolute stillness, of course. Spacecraft vibrate. Equipment hums. Human hearts beat inside spacesuits, but outside those thin layers of machinery and air, the surrounding universe remains almost perfectly silent. No wind across planetary planes without atmosphere, no sound traveling between worlds, just motion without noise. The human mind rarely encounters that kind of environment naturally. On Earth, silence usually means the temporary absence of sound. In space, silence is structural, built into the vacuum itself, and perhaps that is why images of space often feel so psychologically spacious. Your mind instinctively fills them with quiet. One of the gentlest ideas in astronomy is that light takes time to arrive. Nothing appears instantly across cosmic distances. When you see Jupiter tonight, you are seeing it as it was tens of minutes ago. When you look at Saturn, you see older light still. Even sunlight arriving on Earth already belongs slightly to the past. The solar system teaches patience through physics itself. Reality unfolds with delay, and yet humans often expect immediate understanding, immediate clarity, immediate emotional resolution. Astronomy quietly suggests another rhythm. Some things require travel time. Some realizations arrive gradually. Even healing may function more like starlight than sudden illumination. Slow movement across darkness. One fascinating feature of the solar system is how often destruction creates beauty. Saturn's rings may have formed from shattered moons or objects pulled apart by gravity. Meteor impacts on Earth may have contributed ingredients important for life. Supernovas, colossal stellar deaths far beyond our solar system, created many of the heavy elements necessary for planets and biology. The universe transforms continuously through cycles of breaking and reforming, and despite the violence hidden inside those processes, the final structures often appear serene. A ringed planet, a quiet moonlit ocean, a living world orbiting a stable star. Nature rarely separates creation from transformation. They are usually the same process viewed at different moments in time. This perspective can soften the fear of change slightly, not because loss becomes easy, but because transformation appears everywhere throughout existence. The solar system itself emerged from collapse. Long ago, a giant cloud of gas and dust began condensing under gravity. The center grew hotter and denser until nuclear fusion ignited, forming the sun. The remaining material flattened into a rotating disk. Within that disk, particles collided gently over immense periods of time, gradually becoming rocks, then larger bodies, then planets. Earth began as scattered dust orbiting a newborn star. Everything solid around you once existed as drifting particles in space. Your body, your home, oceans, mountains, trees, all assembled gradually from ancient material moving through cosmic history. The solar system reminds you repeatedly that stability can emerge from chaos slowly. Even now, tiny particles from space fall through Earth's atmosphere constantly. Microscopic fragments of comets and asteroids drift downward invisibly each day. The planet quietly gathers material from the cosmos all the time. Earth is not isolated from space. It interacts continuously with its surroundings. Sunlight enters. Meteor dust arrives. Gravity exchanges energy with the moon. Magnetic fields interact with solar wind. The boundary between Earth and the rest of the solar system is more permeable than it first appears. Perhaps this is another reason astronomy relaxes people. It dissolves rigid separation. The sky is not somewhere else. It surrounds you already. On clear nights far from city lights, the Milky Way becomes visible as a pale band stretching across the darkness. That glowing river of light is not a cloud. It is the combined glow of countless distant stars inside our galaxy. When humans first truly understood this, the psychological impact was profound. The solar system was no longer the entire universe. It became one tiny neighborhood inside something vastly larger, and later discoveries expanded the scale even further. Galaxies beyond galaxies, structures beyond structures. Yet oddly, greater scale often creates greater calm rather than greater fear, because immensity reduces the illusion that everything depends entirely on individual control. The universe functioned before human plans existed. It continues regardless of human anxiety. There is relief in recognizing limits honestly, not helplessness. Perspective. The moon provides one of the best examples of emotional perspective in the solar system. Its light is not its own. Moonlight is reflected sunlight. A cold, rocky world becomes luminous simply by receiving and returning light from elsewhere. And yet people throughout history have associated moonlight with calmness, reflection, poetry, and thoughtfulness. Perhaps because reflected light feels softer than direct light, gentler, less demanding. Human beings also reflect one another emotionally in subtle ways. Calmness spreads quietly between people, so does tension. The solar system contains similar exchanges constantly. Moons reflect sunlight. Atmospheres scatter color. Ice reflects brightness across darkness. Nothing exists entirely alone. Even shadows depend on light nearby. One subtle truth about planetary exploration is that humans often send robots first, not only because space is dangerous, but because patience matters more than speed. Robotic missions may take years or decades to reach their destinations. Space agencies plan trajectories carefully, sometimes using planetary gravity itself to redirect spacecraft across the solar system. A probe launched from Earth may swing around Venus or Jupiter to gain momentum before continuing onward. Gravity becomes both obstacle and assistance, depending on how it is approached, that feels meaningful somehow. The same force capable of trapping objects in orbit can also help carry them farther. Human experiences often work similarly. Certain difficulties eventually become sources of strength, insight, or direction later in life. The solar system repeatedly transforms limitation into motion through balance and timing. Even darkness in space is not truly empty blackness. If your eyes adjusted fully, you would see distant stars everywhere, light from ancient suns crossing unimaginable distances silently. Some of those stars may host planets. Some planets may possess moons. Some moons may contain hidden oceans beneath ice. The universe likely holds more complexity than human beings will ever completely explore. And perhaps that is comforting too. There will always remain more to discover, more depth beyond current understanding, more quiet structures moving through darkness patiently. Tonight, as Earth continues rotating beneath the night sky, the solar system remains exactly what it has been for billions of years. A vast interplay of gravity, light, motion, ice, dust, stone, and time, worlds circling a stable star, moons accompanying planets faithfully, invisible forces shaping visible beauty. And somewhere on one small living planet, human minds continue gazing upward, searching not only for knowledge, but for perspective gentle enough to quiet the noise of being alive for a little while. Perhaps one of the quietest realizations in astronomy is that the solar system is not rare because it is dramatic. It is rare because it is stable. Stability is easy to overlook because it does not announce itself loudly. Catastrophes attract attention. Explosions dominate headlines. Sudden changes feel emotionally powerful, but life depends far more on consistency than intensity. The sun rises reliably, Earth's orbit remains steady, water cycles through oceans and clouds continuously. The atmosphere maintains conditions narrow enough for breathing, rain, forests, and sleep. Human existence rests on countless forms of stability happening simultaneously every second, and the solar system preserves that balance with extraordinary patience. Astronomers sometimes search for Earth-like planets around distant stars, but what they truly search for is long-term equilibrium. A planet may have the correct size and temperature, but if its environment changes too violently or too frequently, life may struggle to emerge. Complexity requires time, and time requires stability. The solar system teaches this quietly through its structure. Billions of years of relatively predictable motion allowed oceans to remain liquid, ecosystems to evolve, and consciousness to appear gradually. Your own existence depends on cosmic consistency extending far into the past. That thought can feel deeply calming, because it means the universe is not only capable of producing life, it is capable of sustaining it. Even now, Earth moves through space within a kind of invisible shelter created by the sun. The solar wind, streams of charged particles flowing outward from the sun, forms a giant bubble around the solar system called the heliosphere. This enormous region helps shield the planets from some forms of high-energy cosmic radiation originating elsewhere in the galaxy. In a sense, the entire solar system travels together inside a vast protective field generated by its star. Again, invisible structure creates safety quietly. Nature often protects gently rather than dramatically. The same is true on Earth. Ozone in the atmosphere blocks harmful ultraviolet radiation without anyone noticing directly. Trees cool environments simply by existing. Oceans regulate climate continuously without human awareness. Many essential systems operate silently in the background of life. The solar system feels emotionally peaceful, partly because it reveals how much support already surrounds existence naturally. One interesting feature of planetary motion is resonance. Certain moons and planets fall into repeating gravitational relationships where their orbital periods align mathematically. These resonances help stabilize systems over long periods. It is almost like rhythm emerging through gravity, and rhythm matters deeply to human psychology. A calm heartbeat, steady rain, ocean waves reaching shore repeatedly. Rhythmic patterns signal safety to the nervous system because they suggest continuity rather than chaos. The solar system contains rhythms everywhere: planetary rotations, lunar phases, solar cycles, meteor showers returning annually. Even the movement of constellations across seasons creates long-term celestial rhythms humans have watched for thousands of years. Perhaps people feel comfort beneath the night sky because it reconnects them to patterns larger and older than individual experience. Modern life often disconnects people from natural cycles. Artificial light weakens awareness of night. Climate-controlled buildings reduce awareness of seasons. Digital schedules replace solar ones. But the solar system continues its ancient rhythms regardless. Winter still follows orbital geometry. Tides still answer the moon. Sunlight still arrives after crossing space for 8 minutes. Astronomy gently reminds humans that they remain part of natural systems even when daily life feels artificial. One of the strangest facts about the solar system is that space itself has a scent, at least according to astronauts who returned from spacewalks. Many described a metallic or burned smell clinging to their suits after exposure to vacuum. No one smells space directly outside the spacecraft, of course, because there is no air to carry scent, but particles interacting with materials create chemical traces that astronauts notice upon returning inside. Even this detail feels strangely intimate. The cosmos is not only visual, it interacts physically with matter in subtle ways. The boundary between humanity and the universe is not as distant as it first appears. The atoms inside your lungs once traveled through stars. Radiation from the sun warms your skin daily. Meteor particles settle onto Earth continuously. You are immersed inside cosmic processes constantly, even during ordinary moments. There are deserts on Earth where nighttime skies become so clear that the Milky Way casts faint shadows. In those places, People often report feeling both smaller and calmer simultaneously. This combination matters. Feeling small in a threatening environment creates fear, but feeling small within a stable and beautiful environment often creates peace. The solar system can produce that feeling because its vastness is balanced by order. The planets are not colliding randomly. Stars do not fall unpredictably from the sky. The cosmos moves according to structure. Human beings relax more easily inside systems that feel ordered, even if those systems are immense. One reason ancient navigation worked so well is because the stars remained reliable. Sailors crossed oceans guided by celestial patterns. Polaris marked north consistently. Seasonal stars returned predictably. The night sky became one of humanity's oldest maps. Long before modern technology, humans trusted the heavens for orientation. There is something emotionally significant about that relationship. People looked upward not only for wonder, but for direction. Perhaps they still do. The solar system also reveals how fragile perception can be. The sun appears small in the sky only because it is far away, despite being unimaginably massive. The moon appears larger near the horizon due to psychological effects within human visual processing. Venus sometimes shines brightly enough to cast faint shadows. Reality and perception interact constantly. Astronomy teaches humility because it repeatedly corrects assumptions humans make based on immediate appearance alone. And humility itself can be calming, not humiliation, just openness. The willingness to accept that existence is larger and more intricate than first impressions suggest. The deeper astronomers looked into the solar system, the stranger and more beautiful it became. Volcanoes erupting on Jupiter's moon Io, subsurface oceans beneath icy moons, methane lakes on Titan, dust devils crossing Martian deserts, gigantic storms larger than Earth itself, turning slowly through gas giant atmospheres. The universe consistently exceeds expectation. Yet even its strangest phenomena often unfold with remarkable patience. Nothing hurries. The stars visible above Earth tonight may continue shining for millions or billions of years after current human civilizations change beyond recognition. Some stars are so stable that entire evolutionary histories could unfold around them. The universe thinks in longer timescales than humans naturally do. And maybe that difference creates part of astronomy's calming effect. It stretches awareness beyond immediate survival, beyond tomorrow, beyond the current moment. Not to deny the importance of ordinary life, but to hold it inside something wider and quieter. Right now, as Earth rotates steadily beneath the sky, the solar system continues surrounding you with invisible motion. Gravity anchors oceans to the planet. The moon pulls softly at tides. Sunlight crosses darkness toward morning somewhere else on Earth, far beyond human sight. Icy worlds continue orbiting slowly in deep cold. And above it all, the stars remain suspended like ancient reminders that the universe has always been larger, slower, and calmer than human urgency makes it seem. A vast, patient structure moving silently through darkness, and for a brief lifetime inside that structure, you are here to witness it. The longer you think about the solar system, the more it begins to feel less like a collection of separate objects and more like a single connected process unfolding across space and time. The sun influences every planet through gravity and light. Planets shape the paths of moons and asteroids. Moons affect tides, rotations, and ring systems. Even tiny particles drifting through space participate in larger movements. Nothing exists entirely by itself. And perhaps that idea feels calming because human beings also live through connection. No life forms independently from everything around it. Air, water, sunlight, gravity, ecosystems, memory, language. Existence is relational from the beginning. The solar system quietly mirrors that truth on a cosmic scale. One of the most peaceful features of space is its honesty. Planets do not pretend to be permanent. Stars are born, evolve, and eventually change. Moons crack beneath gravitational stress. Asteroids collide. Rings slowly fade over time. Everything transforms eventually. Yet the universe does not treat transformation as failure. Change is built into the structure of reality itself. Human beings often resist this emotionally. People want certainty, permanence, fixed identity. stable conditions forever. But astronomy gently suggests that continuity does not require stillness. The solar system survives through motion and adaptation continuously. Even Earth's climate has changed many times throughout history. Ice ages advanced and retreated, continents shifted, species appeared and vanished, and still, life continued evolving through those transformations. There is comfort in realizing that endurance often depends on flexibility rather than rigidity. Some of the quietest places in the solar system may be its moons, not because nothing happens there, but because activity unfolds so slowly. Callisto, one of Jupiter's large moons, is covered in ancient craters almost untouched for billions of years. Its surface preserves deep time visibly. No forests erase the impacts. No oceans smooth the terrain. History remains exposed directly on the landscape. Looking at such places can alter the way the mind experiences time itself. Human life moves quickly. Days disappear. Years compress into memory faster than expected. But the solar system contains environments where visible change nearly stops. Places that remain patient beyond ordinary imagination. And strangely, witnessing that patience can calm the mind. Not because it removes urgency entirely, but because it proves reality contains slower rhythms too. Astronomers often rely on light that is almost unimaginably faint. Some distant objects in the solar system reflect only tiny amounts of sunlight toward Earth. Detecting them requires sensitive instruments and careful observation. This means discovery frequently depends not on force, but on attention, on the ability to notice subtle signals hidden inside darkness. There is something meaningful in that. Human life also contains faint signals easily overlooked, moments of quiet happiness, small changes in mood, gentle forms of connection. Not everything important arrives dramatically. Sometimes, the most meaningful things are nearly invisible unless observed carefully. The solar system rewards careful observation repeatedly. For centuries, people saw Saturn only as a bright wandering light in the sky. Then telescopes revealed rings. Later, stronger telescopes revealed structure within those rings. Spacecraft eventually showed thousands of delicate ringlets, shaped by hidden gravitational interactions. The deeper humanity looked, the more complexity appeared. Reality often works this way. Closer attention rarely makes the universe simpler. It makes it richer. One subtle reason astronomy feels emotionally restorative is because it shifts awareness away from purely human-centered thinking. Modern life constantly reinforces personal identity and individual urgency. Your schedule, your goals, your worries, your future. But the solar system exists completely outside those narratives. Mars does not care about productivity. Saturn does not recognize social status. The stars do not measure success. And this absence of judgment can feel profoundly relieving. You are allowed to simply exist beneath the sky without proving anything to it. The universe asks no performance from you, only presence. The night sky also creates one of the rare experiences shared across nearly all human history. Ancient farmers, sailors, philosophers, children, travelers, scientists, and ordinary people all looked upward at the same moon. The same planets crossed above lost civilizations and modern cities alike. Human culture changes rapidly, but the sky changes slowly enough to connect generations across thousands of years. There is something deeply calming about participating in an experience older than civilization itself. To look at Jupiter tonight is to repeat an act performed by countless human beings throughout history. Different languages, different beliefs, different lives, yet the same planet moved quietly above them all. The solar system creates continuity between people who never met. Even the colors of the planets carry emotional atmosphere. Mars glows softly red. Neptune appears deep blue. Saturn reflects muted gold. Earth shines white and blue from space because of clouds and oceans. These worlds are physically real, but they also affect imagination emotionally. Humans naturally attach feeling to color, light, and distance. Perhaps this is why photographs of planets often feel more like dreams than scientific images. They activate something older than analysis alone, a quiet sense of wonder. Wonder itself may be psychologically important, not excitement, not shock, but calm wonder, the feeling that reality contains more depth than immediate understanding. Studies in psychology sometimes describe awe as an emotion capable of reducing obsessive self-focus temporarily. The solar system produces this effect naturally. Immense scale interrupts repetitive thought patterns. The mind widens outward, and in that widening, tension sometimes softens, not because problems vanish, but because awareness becomes larger than the problems for a moment. One beautiful truth about the solar system is that it does not rush toward completion. There is no final destination waiting at the end of planetary motion. Orbits continue, stars shine, galaxies turn. The cosmos unfolds continuously rather than aiming toward a finish line. Human beings often exhaust themselves imagining life as something that must eventually become complete or perfectly resolved. But the universe seems more interested in ongoing process than final arrival. Even stars recycle material into future stars. Endings become beginnings repeatedly. The solar system reflects this continuity everywhere. Dust becomes planets. Planets create conditions for life. Life studies stars. Stars create new elements. The cycle continues. Late at night, when human activity decreases and artificial noise fades slightly, it becomes easier to feel the presence of these larger rhythms. The Earth rotating beneath darkness, the Moon tracing its orbit patiently, distant planets reflecting sunlight quietly into space. You begin sensing that existence itself may be less frantic than human society often appears. Nature moves steadily, not anxiously. The solar system contains unimaginable energy, immense gravity, violent storms, and catastrophic history, yet viewed from the scale of time, it still feels calm. Perhaps calmness is not the absence of power. Perhaps it is power moving without panic. The planets never rush their orbits. The sun never hurries sunrise. Even light travels at its constant speed without variation. The universe remains astonishingly consistent, and inside that consistency, human beings experience brief lives filled with thought, emotion, memory, and wonder. Tonight, while you rest on one small rotating world beneath a thin layer of atmosphere, the ancient machinery of the solar system continues around you silently. Invisible gravitational paths curve through darkness. Moons accompany planets faithfully. Frozen comets drift at the edge of sunlight. And overhead, the stars continue shining with patient indifference to human haste. A quiet reminder that existence is larger, older, and steadier than the mind often remembers during waking hours. And perhaps that is enough, sometimes, to let the thoughts slow gently while the cosmos continues turning above you. There is a quiet paradox at the center of astronomy. The more immense the universe becomes, the more intimate existence can begin to feel. At first, learning about the solar system often creates distance. Planets seem remote. Space feels cold and unreachable. Human life appears tiny compared to cosmic scales. But over time, another feeling slowly emerges: connection. Because the same physical laws shaping galaxies also shape your body. The same gravity guiding moons keeps your feet against Earth. The same atoms drifting through ancient stars now exist inside living cells. The universe is not merely surrounding you, it continues through you. And perhaps this realization calms people because it dissolves the feeling of separation that modern life often creates. The solar system is not an external machine operating somewhere far away. You are already inside its motion. Every breath occurs on a moving planet. Every memory forms beneath a star. Even sleep itself happens while Earth rotates silently through space. One remarkable feature of the solar system is how stable its patterns appear despite constant motion underneath them. Take the night sky. To casual observation, the stars seem fixed, yet in reality, every star moves through the galaxy at tremendous speeds. Entire constellations slowly change shape over long periods of time. Human lifetimes are simply too brief to notice most celestial movement directly. This creates an important emotional lesson. Not all change feels dramatic while it is happening. Some transformations unfold quietly across years, decades, or centuries. The same is true in human life. Identity changes slowly. Relationships evolve gradually. Healing often occurs beneath conscious awareness before suddenly becoming visible later. The solar system reminds you that gradual change can still be profound. Astronomy also reveals how much beauty depends on perspective. Saturn's rings look solid from a distance, but up close they are composed of countless separate particles orbiting together. The Milky Way appears like a soft cloud across the night sky, yet it contains hundreds of billions of stars. Even Earth, from orbit, looks peaceful and unified despite all human complexity unfolding below. Distance simplifies, closeness complicates. Both views contain truth. Perhaps peace sometimes requires moving gently between perspectives, rather than remaining trapped inside only one. Too much distance can feel detached. Too much closeness can feel overwhelming. The solar system teaches balance between the two. One fascinating reality about space travel is that astronauts in orbit witness sunrise and sunset far more often than people on Earth's surface. The International Space Station circles Earth roughly every 90 minutes, meaning astronauts may experience 16 sunrises in a single day. Imagine watching darkness and light exchange places over and over again, while continents drift silently beneath you. Day becomes night, night becomes day, again and again. The boundary between them moves continuously across Earth's surface. Even this demonstrates one of astronomy's deepest patterns. Nothing remains fixed for long. Light arrives, darkness returns, then light comes again. Cycles continue. The solar system is filled with repeating transitions, rather than permanent states. Perhaps this is emotionally comforting because human experiences also move in cycles. Periods of uncertainty eventually shift. Exhaustion changes into rest. Grief softens slowly with time. No internal weather remains completely permanent. The atmosphere of Jupiter contains enormous bands of clouds flowing around the planet in alternating directions. Some storms merge together, others disappear. New patterns emerge continuously, and yet from far away, Jupiter still appears stable, a giant striped sphere turning calmly in darkness. This combination of inner turbulence and outer steadiness feels familiar somehow. Human beings often carry complicated emotional weather beneath calm appearances. Thoughts move internally like atmospheric systems. Feelings shift, collide, intensify, fade, yet life continues moving around the sun regardless. The solar system contains room for turbulence without losing structure entirely. Even blackness in space is not truly empty visually. Against darkness, stars become more visible. This is one reason astronomers build telescopes far from city lights. Reducing brightness allows faint structures to emerge, nebulae, distant galaxies, subtle details hidden inside darkness. Sometimes less interference reveals more reality. The human mind may work similarly. Constant stimulation can obscure quieter forms of understanding. Silence reveals thoughts already present beneath noise. Stillness reveals patterns hidden beneath distraction. The solar system invites this slower kind of seeing, not rushed observation, patient attention. One of the gentlest truths about planetary exploration is that most spacecraft travel alone for very long periods of time. After launch, they drift quietly through darkness for years before reaching distant worlds. No dramatic movement, no constant activity, just gradual motion guided by physics. Yet these journeys often transform human understanding profoundly. The Voyager probes changed how humanity viewed the outer planets. The Cassini mission revealed extraordinary details about Saturn and its moons. Mars rovers turned another planet from abstraction into landscape. Slow travel still changes perception. Modern culture often treats speed as inherently valuable, but astronomy repeatedly demonstrates the power of patience instead. The universe does not reveal itself instantly. Sometimes understanding requires years of quiet movement through darkness. Perhaps people need that too. Time to travel internally before clarity arrives. One subtle comfort of astronomy is that it replaces artificial urgency with natural scale. Human schedules feel intense, partly because they are measured against short intervals, hours, days, weeks. But the solar system measures time differently. A Martian year lasts nearly twice as long as Earth's. Neptune takes more than 160 Earth years to orbit the Sun once. Comets may disappear for thousands of years before returning briefly into visibility. The cosmos stretches time outward until haste begins feeling strangely local, not meaningless, just temporary. And perhaps many anxieties lose some power when placed beside older rhythms. There are stars in the night sky whose light began traveling toward Earth before modern civilization existed. Some photons entering human eyes tonight left their stars while ancient cities still stood in places now covered by ruins. Light preserves history silently. The universe carries memory across distance constantly. This transforms ordinary stargazing into something almost impossible to fully comprehend. You are literally seeing the past, not metaphorically, actually. And still, despite all this complexity, the night sky remains emotionally simple for many people. Quiet, open, steady. Perhaps because beneath every scientific detail, the solar system continues expressing a basic truth repeatedly. Existence moves, but it does not need to rush. Planets orbit without anxiety. Stars burn without ambition. Galaxies turn without impatience. Nature unfolds according to rhythm rather than pressure. And human beings, despite all their worry and striving, are still part of that same universe, still governed by cycles of rest and waking, still living beneath gravity and sunlight, still connected to ancient cosmic processes older than memory itself. Tonight, somewhere above cloud layers and artificial light, Mars continues its silent orbit around the Sun. Saturn's rings continue reflecting faint sunlight across darkness. Icy moons continue circling giant planets patiently, and Earth, carrying oceans, forests, cities, dreams, fears, and sleeping minds, continues moving smoothly through space beneath the stars, a small living world inside a vast, calm system of motion. And for this brief moment in cosmic history, you are here within it, aware enough to wonder, quiet enough to listen, and small enough perhaps to finally rest beneath something so much larger than yourself. At some point, when you spend enough time thinking about the solar system, the mind begins to notice a strange emotional shift. Space no longer feels empty. It begins to feel spacious. There is an important difference between those two ideas. Emptiness suggests absence, isolation, meaninglessness. But spaciousness suggests room for thought, room for perspective, room for existence to unfold without constant pressure. The solar system offers that feeling naturally because its scale is so far beyond ordinary human urgency. No planet hurries its orbit. No moon becomes anxious about time. Even the sun, burning through nuclear fusion every second, will continue shining for billions of years without interruption. The universe operates through continuity more than intensity, and perhaps human beings quietly crave that kind of steadiness. Modern life surrounds people with compressed time. Messages arrive instantly, news changes hourly, attention fragments constantly, but astronomy stretches awareness outward again, toward long cycles, toward ancient light, toward motions so gradual they almost resemble stillness. One of the most peaceful astronomical facts is that the solar system formed from ordinary matter, following ordinary physical laws. Nothing supernatural was required. Hydrogen, gravity, time, pressure, motion, that was enough. The same universe producing distant galaxies also produced oceans, trees, human consciousness, and quiet nights beneath the moon. Existence emerges naturally from structure interacting patiently over immense spans of time. There is something deeply reassuring about that. Complexity does not always require force. Sometimes it grows slowly, from simple beginnings. A cloud of dust became planets. Chemistry became biology. Awareness emerged from matter. And now, on one small world, the universe studies itself through human curiosity. The solar system also teaches humility gently rather than harshly. Earth is not the center of everything. The sun is not unique. Even the Milky Way galaxy is only one among countless others. Yet none of this removes meaning from human life. If anything, it makes consciousness seem more precious, because awareness becomes rare and temporary against cosmic time, a brief window through which the universe becomes capable of reflection. Perhaps this is why looking at the stars often creates calmness mixed with awe. You realize simultaneously how small and how extraordinary conscious experience really is. For billions of years, planets orbited silently before any living thing existed to notice them. Then, eventually, life emerged. Eyes formed, minds developed, and the cosmos became observable from within itself. The solar system waited a very long time for awareness to appear. One subtle truth about astronomy is that observation changes the observer. People who spend years studying planetary motion, stars, and cosmic time often begin thinking differently about ordinary life. Less urgency, more patience, a stronger sense of continuity, because the universe repeatedly demonstrates that nearly everything meaningful unfolds gradually. Forests grow slowly, mountains rise slowly, stars form slowly. Even human understanding accumulates slowly across generations. The solar system rewards persistence more than speed. The planets themselves are ancient archives of time. Mercury's cratered surface records impacts from the early solar system. Mars preserves river valleys from a wetter past. Layers inside icy moons may contain chemical histories stretching back billions of years. Each world carries memory physically within its structure. Earth does too. Rocks preserve fossils. Ice traps ancient atmosphere. Tree rings record climate. The universe remembers through matter. Nothing truly vanishes completely. Traces remain. Even human existence leaves subtle marks behind. Signals moving outward from Earth travel into space continuously. Radio broadcasts, radar transmissions, fragments of human communication spread outward at the speed of light, a faint expanding sphere of evidence announcing that intelligent life once existed here. It is a strange thought, pieces of human history drifting quietly into the galaxy long after the original voices disappear. The solar system is filled with quiet persistence like this. Light continues, motion continues, gravity continues. The universe rarely stops anything suddenly. It transforms, disperses, reshapes. One reason space imagery feels emotionally calming is because of its simplicity. A planet against darkness, a crescent moon above a horizon, rings suspended around Saturn. These scenes contain very little visual clutter. Human attention relaxes around clear structures. Nature often creates complexity through underlying simplicity, repeated many times. Snowflakes emerge from basic physics. Ocean waves follow simple forces interacting continuously. Planetary orbits arise from gravity and motion. The universe builds elegance from repetition, and perhaps the human mind feels calmer when it senses underlying order beneath apparent complexity. There is also something peaceful about the honesty of astronomical scales. The solar system does not shrink itself to fit human comfort. Distances remain enormous. Temperatures remain extreme, time remains vast, and yet the cosmos is not hostile in an emotional sense. It simply exists according to its nature. Stars burn because fusion occurs. Planets orbit because gravity curves motion. The universe behaves consistently whether humans approve of it or not. There can be relief in encountering something that does not manipulate, persuade, or demand. The night sky simply presents itself, nothing more. Throughout history, people have looked upward during moments of uncertainty. Sailors navigating oceans, travelers crossing deserts, philosophers asking questions beneath moonlight, children staring through windows late at night. Astronomy accompanies reflection naturally because it widens the frame around immediate experience. A single difficult day feels different beneath a billion-year-old sky. Not unimportant, just smaller, and smallness is not always negative. Sometimes smallness creates freedom from exaggerated self-pressure. The solar system also reveals how temporary fear can be. Ancient people feared eclipses because they lacked explanation for sudden darkness during daytime. Comets once seemed terrifying omens. Meteor showers felt supernatural. But understanding transformed fear into curiosity. Knowledge did not remove wonder. It changed the emotional relationship with the unknown. Perhaps many fears work similarly. Confusion magnifies anxiety. Understanding softens it. And even when complete understanding remains impossible, perspective still helps. The planets continue their motion whether humans fully comprehend them or not. One beautiful feature of the moon is that it stabilizes Earth while also stabilizing human imagination. Poetry, calendars, mythology, navigation, religion, science, all were shaped partly by that single object orbiting above Earth. The moon influenced tides physically and culture psychologically at the same time. Astronomy and human identity have always been connected. People often think of space as distant from ordinary life. But ordinary life has always unfolded beneath celestial rhythms. Sunrise regulates waking. Darkness encourages sleep. Seasons guide agriculture. Lunar cycles influence tides. The solar system quietly structures human existence every day. Even now, while many people sleep, Earth continues rotating toward morning. Cities drift slowly through darkness. Clouds move across oceans. Moonlight reflects from water far beyond Earth. Planets continue circling the sun with immense patience. Nothing rushes, nothing demands immediate resolution. The cosmos moves steadily because steady motion is enough. And perhaps that is one of the deepest calming truths hidden inside astronomy. The universe does not need urgency in order to continue creating beauty. Stars shine patiently. Galaxies turn slowly. Worlds evolve gradually. And human beings, despite all their noise and worry, are still carried gently through space by the same ancient forces guiding every planet, moon, and comet in the solar system. Tonight, as the stars remain suspended above the sleeping Earth, the great celestial rhythms continue exactly as they always have. Silent, measured, endless. A vast, calm architecture of motion holding one small living world softly inside it. If you could step outside the solar system and look back from far enough away, you might notice something unexpected. The planets themselves would almost disappear. Even Jupiter, enormous compared to Earth, would shrink into near invisibility beside the Sun. The entire solar system would become mostly light, surrounded by darkness, a small star carrying tiny worlds around it silently. And yet within those tiny worlds exists everything humanity has ever known. Every language, every memory, every piece of music, every story ever told beside firelight or beneath electric light. The scale difference is difficult for the human mind to fully absorb. But instead of making life feel insignificant, it can create a strange tenderness toward existence itself, because fragile things surviving inside enormous space become deeply meaningful. Earth is fragile. Its atmosphere is thin, its ecosystems delicate, its living creatures temporary. And still, against immense cosmic darkness, life emerged here. Consciousness emerged here. The solar system produced at least one world capable of thought, memory, affection, curiosity, and wonder. That is not a small thing. One quiet truth about astronomy is that the universe appears remarkably patient with complexity. Stars burn for billions of years. Planets cool gradually. Life evolves slowly. Nothing important in cosmic history happens instantly. Even catastrophic events unfold within larger continuities, extending far beyond them. A meteor impact may change Earth dramatically, yet the planet itself continues orbiting the Sun afterward. Species disappear, and others emerge later. Continents shift, ice advances and retreats. The universe contains destruction, but also extraordinary persistence. This perspective can soften the feeling that every difficulty represents a final ending. Nature rarely works through finality alone. It works through transformation. The solar system itself is still changing right now. The moon continues drifting slowly away from Earth. Mars continues cooling internally. Saturn's rings continue losing particles gradually. The sun brightens very slightly over immense periods of time. Nothing is frozen completely. Even apparently stable systems evolve. Perhaps peace comes partly from accepting movement instead of resisting it constantly. One fascinating reality about space is that most of it remains unexplored. Human beings have visited only the moon directly. Robotic spacecraft explored planets and moons, but the majority of the solar system still exists beyond close human experience. Entire landscapes remain unseen in detail. Subsurface oceans remain hidden beneath ice. Unknown objects drift beyond Neptune in darkness. The cosmos still contains mystery everywhere, and surprisingly, mystery itself can feel calming when it is not treated as threat. Modern life pressures people to know, explain, categorize, and predict everything immediately. But the solar system reminds you that uncertainty can coexist with beauty peacefully. You do not need to solve Saturn completely in order to admire it. You do not need complete understanding of existence in order to participate in it. Some truths can simply remain larger than you. There are moments on Earth when the solar system becomes briefly more visible than usual. A lunar eclipse darkening the moon red, a meteor shower crossing the sky silently after midnight, Venus glowing brightly before sunrise, Saturn visible through a small backyard telescope. These moments often affect people emotionally, even when they know the science behind them. Because astronomy reaches beyond information alone. It touches scale, time, perspective, the awareness that human life unfolds inside something ancient and immense. And that awareness changes the emotional texture of ordinary thought. Even weather feels different when viewed from space. Astronauts looking down at Earth see hurricanes spinning with geometric elegance across oceans. Massive storm systems resemble flowing patterns rather than local disasters. Again, distance transforms perception. From inside the storm, everything feels immediate. From orbit, larger structure becomes visible. The solar system teaches both views simultaneously. Human experiences matter deeply when lived directly. But from enough distance, even chaos reveals pattern eventually. Perhaps wisdom involves learning when to zoom inward and when to zoom outward. Astronomy naturally trains that flexibility. The stars also remind humans that visibility depends on darkness. During daytime, stars remain present above Earth, but sunlight scattered through the atmosphere hides them from view. Darkness reveals what brightness obscures. This feels psychologically meaningful too. Certain thoughts become visible only during quieter periods of life. Reflection often emerges late at night because distractions decrease. The mind notices subtler things once noise fades slightly. The universe itself behaves similarly. Astronomers build observatories far from cities precisely because darkness allows deeper seeing. One subtle comfort about the solar system is that it operates according to understandable principles. Gravity behaves consistently. Orbital mechanics remain predictable. Physics applies everywhere humans observe. The universe may be vast and mysterious, but it is not completely chaotic. Patterns exist, relationships exist, order exists beneath complexity. Human beings seem emotionally reassured by hidden structure. Children sleep more peacefully when they trust the stability of the environment around them. Adults are not so different. The solar system offers a larger version of that reassurance. Not certainty about everything, but confidence that reality itself possesses continuity. One day, long after current civilizations change or disappear, the planets will continue orbiting. The moon will continue rising above oceans. Sunlight will continue crossing space toward Earth. The stars visible tonight will still shine above future generations yet unborn. This continuity can feel melancholic at first, but it can also feel comforting. The universe does not depend entirely on human control to remain beautiful. Existence carries on, and within that continuity, each human life becomes a brief moment of awareness inside a much older story. Briefness does not remove meaning. Music ends, yet still matters. Sunsets fade, yet remain beautiful. Human lives are temporary, partly because all living processes depend on motion and change. The solar system demonstrates that impermanence and beauty often belong together. Perhaps that is why astronomy feels so emotionally balanced. It contains both permanence and transience simultaneously. Stars endure for billions of years. Meteor streaks last seconds. Mountains on Mars survive immense ages. Human beings watch them briefly. Everything exists on different clocks at once. Late at night, when the world becomes quieter and the mind loosens slightly from daytime urgency, it becomes easier to sense these overlapping scales of time, your own breathing, Earth's rotation, the moon's orbit, the long motion of planets through darkness, the slow turning of the galaxy itself, multiple rhythms moving together continuously. And somehow, despite all this motion, the universe still feels calm. Perhaps calmness was never about stopping movement. Perhaps calmness is what motion feels like when it follows deep enough order. The solar system embodies that order everywhere. Gravity shaping paths invisibly, light traveling consistently across distance, worlds orbiting with immense patience. And here on Earth, beneath layers of cloud, atmosphere, memory, and thought, human beings continue listening to the silence beyond the sky, searching for perspective wide enough to quiet the mind for a little while. Tonight, the planets remain in motion above you. The stars continue burning across unimaginable distances, and the solar system, ancient, spacious, endlessly patient, continues carrying one small living world gently through the darkness. There is something almost comforting about the fact that the solar system does not need human attention in order to continue existing beautifully. The planets do not perform for observation. Saturn's rings would still shimmer in sunlight even if no conscious being ever looked at them. The icy plains of Pluto would still glow faintly blue beneath distant sunlight. Jupiter's storms would continue turning through darkness, whether humans named them or not. Nature creates beauty without audience, and perhaps there is peace in realizing that existence itself does not depend entirely on recognition. Modern human life often feels tied to visibility. Messages must be answered, achievements must be measured, attention becomes currency. But the solar system remains indifferent to being noticed. It simply continues. This quiet independence gives astronomy a different emotional atmosphere from many human systems. The universe does not pressure you. It allows you to observe without demanding anything in return. One subtle reason people relax while thinking about space is because cosmic scales dissolve artificial urgency. On Earth, a delayed message may feel important for an hour. A stressful week may dominate thought completely, but the solar system moves through cycles so vast that ordinary pressures temporarily lose their sharpness. The moon will still rise tomorrow. Mars will still cross the night sky years from now. Saturn will continue orbiting the sun long after current worries transform into memory. Perspective does not erase human concerns, but it changes their weight. The human nervous system evolved to focus intensely on immediate survival. That focus once helped people navigate dangerous environments, but in modern life, the same mental machinery often locks onto abstract pressures continuously. Astronomy interrupts that narrowing effect. It widens awareness outward again, toward distance, toward continuity, toward systems operating far beyond short-term human tension. One of the most fascinating truths about the solar system is that it contains both extraordinary violence and extraordinary stillness at the same time. The sun releases immense energy every second. Asteroids collide with planets occasionally. Radiation streams through space. Yet from a distance, the entire system appears calm and ordered. This is because large-scale stability can coexist with local turbulence, and perhaps human life works similarly. A difficult moment may feel chaotic internally, while the larger structure of life continues holding together around it. The solar system demonstrates that motion and disruption do not automatically destroy order. Sometimes order includes them. The night sky also reminds humans of something modern life often hides. Darkness itself is natural. For most of human history, nighttime transformed the pace of existence. Activity slowed, attention widened. People rested beneath visible stars. Artificial light changed that relationship dramatically. Many people now live beneath skies bright enough to hide much of the cosmos entirely. And yet whenever someone steps away from those lights into deeper darkness, the stars return immediately. They were always there, only hidden. This idea feels psychologically important. Many forms of clarity may work similarly, not absent, only obscured by noise. The solar system waits patiently behind distraction. One reason planetary photographs feel emotionally powerful is because they simplify existence into essentials: light, shadow, stone, ice, clouds, motion. Human environments often overwhelm attention with detail and information. But space imagery removes excess. A lone moon drifting above darkness, a thin crescent illuminated against blackness, Earth rising above the lunar horizon. These scenes feel quiet, because they reduce reality to elemental forms, and the mind often relaxes around simplicity, not emptiness, clarity. Astronauts sometimes describe Earth from orbit as both beautiful and fragile simultaneously. The atmosphere appears astonishingly thin from space, a delicate glowing layer surrounding the planet. Everything alive on Earth exists beneath that narrow veil of air. Every forest, every city, every sleeping child, every ocean wave, all protected by a surprisingly fragile boundary between life and vacuum. This realization often increases appreciation rather than fear. Fragility can intensify meaning. People value temporary things differently because they understand permanence is impossible. The solar system repeatedly reveals beauty inside impermanence. Saturn's rings will not last forever. Stars eventually evolve. Comets slowly lose material each time they approach the sun. Even galaxies change shape over immense periods. Nothing remains identical forever, and yet the universe never stops creating structure. One beautiful pattern replaces another continuously. The solar system also teaches patience through observation itself. If you watch the sky casually for one night, little seems to change, but observe carefully across weeks or months, and patterns emerge everywhere. Mars shifts position among stars. The moon changes phase gradually. Constellations rotate with the seasons. Understanding comes through repeated quiet attention, not through force. Perhaps many aspects of life become clearer the same way. Not all answers appear suddenly. Some require long observation. Some truths reveal themselves only through consistency. The planets teach this silently. Even gravity, one of the fundamental forces shaping the solar system, acts with extraordinary gentleness most of the time. Gravity pulls continuously, but almost never violently on human scales. You feel it as weight, as grounding, as the quiet certainty that objects fall toward Earth instead of drifting away. Yet that same subtle force organizes galaxies and binds planetary systems together. One of the strongest forces shaping reality operates almost invisibly in everyday life. The universe often hides immense power inside quiet processes. Ocean tides seem calm from shore, yet they move unimaginable amounts of water across Earth continuously because of the moon's influence. Sunlight feels soft on skin, yet it originates from nuclear fusion inside a star. A meteor streak appears delicate, though it may travel faster than bullets before burning away. The solar system balances softness and intensity constantly, and perhaps human beings relax around astronomy because it reflects emotional truths indirectly. People contain gentleness and power simultaneously, stillness and movement, fear and wonder. The cosmos mirrors complexity without judgment. Late at night, when thoughts begin slowing naturally, astronomy can feel less like information and more like atmosphere, not merely facts about planets, but a way of experiencing scale, a reminder that existence extends far beyond the boundaries of ordinary routine. Somewhere right now, sunlight is reaching Neptune after hours of travel through space. Somewhere beyond Pluto, frozen objects drift in darkness where the sun appears only as a bright, distant star. Somewhere on the far side of the moon, landscapes remain untouched by human footsteps entirely. And here on Earth, beneath the same cosmic structure surrounding every generation before this one, people continue lying awake, wondering quietly about the universe. Perhaps the deepest calming effect of the solar system comes from continuity. The stars above ancient civilizations are still above modern cities. Gravity still shapes motion the way it always has. The moon still reflects sunlight into darkness, despite all human change. The larger rhythms continue steadily, not frozen, not static, but deeply reliable. And reliability allows the mind to soften slightly, to stop gripping every moment so tightly. Tonight, while oceans shift beneath lunar gravity and planets continue their patient orbits around the sun, Earth carries billions of human lives silently through space. Most people will sleep without noticing the movement, but the movement continues anyway, smoothly, steadily. A rotating world, traveling through darkness inside an ancient system of light, gravity, ice, stone, and time. And above it all, the stars remain where they have always been, waiting quietly for anyone who needs perspective wide enough to rest inside for a little while. If human beings had evolved beneath permanently cloudy skies, never seeing stars, the psychology of civilization might have become entirely different. The night sky has always expanded human thought beyond immediate surroundings. Ancient people watched patterns move overhead and slowly realized that the heavens followed order. Seasons repeated. The moon changed predictably. Certain stars returned at the same times each year. Long before modern science existed, the solar system was already teaching humanity that the universe possessed structure, and structure creates calm, not because everything becomes controllable, but because reality feels understandable enough to trust. Even now, when most people know the scientific explanations behind celestial motion, the emotional effect remains. Looking upward still slows the mind, perhaps because astronomy reconnects people to scales larger than personal thought. One subtle truth about the solar system is that most of it is made of ordinary things arranged patiently. Hydrogen, helium, rock, ice, dust. Gravity gathers simple materials into complex forms over immense spans of time. Planets emerge, moons form, atmospheres develop. Eventually, on at least one world, biology appears. The universe does not rush complexity into existence. It allows it to accumulate gradually, and maybe that realization matters emotionally. Human beings often expect themselves to transform quickly, learn quickly, heal quickly, understand life quickly. But the cosmos repeatedly demonstrates another pattern. Important structures take time. A forest grows slowly. A canyon forms slowly. A planetary system forms slowly. Even trust between people develops through repetition and consistency over time. The solar system quietly validates gradual becoming. There is also something calming about the predictability of celestial mechanics. Astronomers can calculate eclipses centuries into the future. They can predict planetary positions precisely. Comets return according to gravitational pathways shaped long ago. The universe contains uncertainty, but it also contains extraordinary regularity, and human minds seem deeply reassured by reliable rhythms. This may explain why nighttime rituals feel comforting psychologically. Repetition creates familiarity. Familiarity reduces tension. The solar system itself is built from repeating motion. Earth rotates, the moon orbits, the planets circle the sun endlessly. The cosmos moves through cycles rather than isolated events. Even sunlight arriving each morning is part of a cosmic rhythm extending back billions of years. One beautiful fact about starlight is that much of it travels across space completely unnoticed. Photons leave stars and cross unimaginable distances whether anyone observes them or not. The universe overflows constantly with silent movement invisible to human awareness. And perhaps this suggests something important. Reality is always larger than immediate perception. Not everything meaningful must be seen directly in order to exist. Gravity is invisible. Magnetic fields are invisible. Air itself is mostly invisible, yet all shape human experience profoundly. The solar system repeatedly teaches that unseen things can still be real, powerful, and stabilizing. Sometimes human emotions work the same way. Care often remains invisible. Memory remains invisible. Thought remains invisible. And still, these unseen forces shape lives continuously. The outer planets especially create a feeling of deep psychological distance. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune exist so far from Earth that sunlight weakens dramatically there. Yet even at those immense distances, the sun still holds them gravitationally. Its influence extends outward across billions of kilometers. Connection persists across enormous space. This feels strangely comforting, because people too remain connected across distance through memory, affection, language, and shared experience. Physical separation does not erase all influence. The solar system demonstrates that invisible bonds can remain stable across astonishing distances. One reason astronomy pairs naturally with nighttime is because darkness simplifies attention. During the day, human awareness fragments outward into tasks, decisions, movement, and noise. But at night, especially beneath stars, the mind often returns to larger questions naturally. Where are we? How long has all this existed? What does it mean to be conscious inside such a universe? Astronomy does not always answer these questions completely, but it creates space where the questions themselves feel calmer, more spacious, less urgent. There is no pressure to solve existence immediately beneath the stars. You are allowed simply to wonder. One of the gentlest realities about Earth is that it travels through space continuously without human awareness. Right now, the planet rotates at tremendous speed while orbiting the Sun, while the solar system itself moves through the Milky Way galaxy, and yet human beings feel still. This happens because motion only becomes noticeable when relative positions change. If everything around you moves together smoothly, the movement disappears into experience. Perhaps life contains emotional versions of this too. People adapt to constant pressures so completely that they stop noticing them. Astronomy briefly interrupts that adaptation. It reminds you that even ordinary existence occurs within astonishing motion. And somehow, despite all this movement, life remains possible. Oceans stay attached to Earth. Atmospheres remain stable. Trees continue growing quietly from soil. Birds continue sleeping in darkness while planets turn overhead. The universe supports delicate processes inside enormous motion constantly. The moon remains one of the most psychologically powerful objects in the solar system because it combines familiarity with mystery. Humans have looked at the same lunar surface for thousands of years, yet it still feels distant and strange. Its light transforms landscapes softly. Its phases create rhythm in the sky. It appears constant, yet changes nightly. Perhaps the moon comforts people because it embodies continuity without sameness. It returns reliably while never appearing exactly identical twice. Life often works similarly. Days repeat, yet each contains subtle differences. Human identity persists, yet changes slowly over time. The solar system rarely presents absolute stillness. Instead, it offers stable variation, a rhythm flexible enough to evolve without collapsing. The deeper scientists explore the cosmos, the more they discover that Earth itself is unusual. Liquid surface water, complex ecosystems, long-term climate stability, a large moon helping stabilize axial tilt, a magnetic field shielding the atmosphere. Many factors align to make this world habitable. Rather than making Earth feel less important, astronomy often makes it feel more precious because rarity increases value. And perhaps this realization naturally encourages gratitude. Not forced gratitude, just quiet recognition. Against immense darkness and distance, life exists here. Consciousness exists here. You exist here. For a brief moment inside cosmic time, awareness opened its eyes on one small planet orbiting an ordinary star. Tonight, as countless stars continue burning silently beyond human reach, Earth remains wrapped in thin air and moonlight, turning slowly beneath the night sky. The planets continue their ancient paths. The sun waits beyond the horizon for another morning. And the solar system, vast and patient beyond imagination, continues carrying its worlds through darkness with extraordinary steadiness, not rushing, not stopping, simply continuing the way the universe always has.